ChairShot Podcast back at you here. A Monday edition of the show. We are counter-programming Monday Night Raw, so it's all getting hot and heavy. Everyone's competing with everyone lately. So that's a bit unusual. We're on Monday, but back to normality here with myself in the driver's seat. Great show from the men last week. Paul is here.
Hello, I'm in the shotgun seat.
And sitting there in the back is Joe.
I'm chilling. I'm just chilling in the back.
He's chilling. He's like, hey, whatever, man. I'm
We're
just
back
like
here smoking and
yeah.
sticking our fingers up at other drivers.
Yeah.
Do that thing where you're lying in the back and it feels so wrong, but it feels so right.
Very much enjoyed the All In review last week, boys. That was the rare CSP, like entirely dedicated to one show.
Yeah,
basically, which you had to do because it was like a day long. The show.
Have you any extra thoughts to add on?
No, I agreed with pretty much everything you boys said. I thought you were dead on. I will only throw my I'll just agree with everyone and say it was long. It was very long.
That's a bit long,
but I would say though it didn't deter my enjoyment like massively. I will say that now I feel like it's one of those things. I actually probably might have. It's a rare case of maybe I would have liked it less if I was there in person. Usually, you always enjoy wrestling more in person. If I was in there like 2 hours of pre-show, and plus you want to be there before the pre-show, there were like fucking 9-10 hours in that fucking building. That is insane. That is insane.
Well, you've had the WrestleMania in Texas experience yourself,
yes, which was very long and drawn out, and even a quote unquote normal length AEW pay-per-view I went to in person. That was long. But yeah, so I very much enjoyed the show. I, of course, was off on my Stag last weekend, which was spectacular. I went to Newcastle for the first time in my life. Away the lads. Chaotic town, I would say. Lots of lovely people, lots of chaos on those streets. I had a great time. We did, in fact, there was, as I suspected there would be, there was a wrestling component to it. The lads got me first time ever. I don't know if you in all your time going to OCT, did you ever sit front row, Paul?
Oh yeah.
I never did. I've never sat front row at an indie show in my entire, or any show really, in my entire life.
Maybe not. Well, I'm trying to think now because there was one show we went to. We were right. It was one of the Sure Road shows, and we were right in the corner. In my memory, we were like first row, but we might have been like second or third. But the fact that we were in the corner meant we had like an unobscured view. So I can't.
Yeah,
I think like the row. There might have been a row in front, but it was like a shorter row. So
I did. For some of the Tivoli shows, I sat on the front row of that elevated stage area.
Well. Yeah.
That was cool because that was front row basically and elevated, which was cool. But this is my first time, real deal, the frontest of front rows for North Wrestling there, which I've heard quite a bit about over the years. They seem to be doing really good stuff. This was like their third big show. I've already forgotten the name of it because again, this is all brand new to me. I'd never actually been before. So an annual show they do, and I think they always do a kind of a big building. It's about 800, 900 people there. It was a really good turnout.
Nice. Wow.
They had a real kind of like, not quite national stadium, but when OC would do one of their like bigger, we're going to go to Tala, go to a basketball arena. Yeah. Very professional setup, big stage, big lighting rig, really top-notch stuff. They also got me meet and greet tickets. It was supposed to be, would you believe, Tajiri was supposed to be there. Well, unfortunately, he cancelled for whatever reason. A buddy of mine who doesn't watch wrestling, he knew who Tajiri was. Like, I'm really disappointed. That would have been class. I think it would have been, but just so you know, it's been a long 20 years since you last saw Tajiri. He's also stopped dyeing the hair. Like he's very gray now, and
he looks like an old Nintendo executive these days.
Yeah, he looks he's had a tough old go of it. They did swap in, so we got Paul London instead, but we were actually late to the meet and greet. So we kind of arrived a little bit late and just caught the very end of the meet and greet. The modern day Maharaja himself, FKA Jinder Mahal Raj Desi. And let me tell you, this is because I was explaining this so it was obviously me and a couple of wrestling fans, and then a lot of my pals who just know that like I love wrestling, but they probably haven't watched it. If you know, maybe a little bit post Attitude Era, but nothing too far. And I've certainly never been to a show before. And I was explaining to them, I was like, he wouldn't have been considered a giant in WWE, but their standard is so high that when he comes to a show like that, he towered over absolutely everyone. Not only on the show, but in the like I didn't realize he's like 6'4", like absolutely giant man. So that was great. We got that picture. We sat down front row. I was in a referee get up, which was, you know, not the worst Stag outfit that's ever been done. Plus, I just kind of could have passed it off as a very cheap Newcastle jersey.
Yeah, you're in Newcastle. No one noticed.
So nobody really noticed, which was fine. The whole show was good, really, really fun. They did, you had your indie staples. You had an opening scramble with a lot of colorful characters. They had some really good video production stuff to catch people up on the feuds, which was really well done. Jinder's match, let me tell you, right? So it was him versus a local lad called Amir Jordan, another chap of South.
He was in the WWE UK at one point, wasn't he? In the tournament, Amir Jordan?
Maybe he was. My memory.
Why do I know that name? Where's that name?
He's been around. I know he's been around. I don't know if he was in, but maybe he was in that. My memory of it is terrible. But he comes out right, hugely over, like big, like local, like North is his place, like that kind of vibe.
He was. He was in the 2018 tournament.
Wow. Okay. So he's been around. He's been obviously making a name for himself. We were sitting in front row. These two kids came up to go to the barricade, and this lady kind of taps my friend on the shoulder and says, "Sorry, do you mind if the kids just stand there at the barricade in front of you because they're his nephews?" And we were like, absolutely, that's what the wrestling is about. That's what the wrestling is about.
Of course.
So he was facing Jinder, right? And so Jinder is like 2 foot taller than this fucking guy, right? And I wasn't sure what kind of reaction he was going to get, but because he was against Amir Jordan, Jinder was like booed. It was like you're against the hometown guy, boo you. And I swear to God, maybe this is the live wrestling bump, or maybe this was the being several warm cans of Red Stripe deep bump. This match was fucking great. Jinder heard this reaction. He's like, I'm working this like it's 1982 and I'm Andre. All right. They start the match up. He locks up, shoves him down. Pulls into the crowd. Everyone's like, no, fuck you, Jinder. No, don't disrespect our boy like that. The man took, I think, 2 bumps the entire match because he was this hulking giant relative to not only his opponent, but everyone else. We were having the time of our life. It was so good. Played his role to perfection. Tossed the little guy around, gave him these little hope spots. The crowd were so into it. The kids were into it. I haven't, because obviously the last couple of shows I've done have all been death matches, which is a completely different vibe. Yeah, it's chaos, it's violence, it looks like a heavy metal concert. No kids at them, obviously. Yes, not even t-shirts, black t-shirts, beards. Yes. Beards as long as I am tall.
Drinking out of a tankard.
Drinking, and that's just me. That's just me doing that.
People look like Brody King, but half as tall.
Drinking out of broken light tubes. Jaeger bombs for £1. Whereas this is my first show I've been to in ages where it's like there's kids there and it's the greatest thing in the world.
The true essence of pro wrestling.
The true essence of it, and they were so Jinder puts him away. It was for we were trying to guess. I was with some knowledgeable wrestling fans. I had no fucking clue what belt Raj Desi had. I was like, is that an MLW thing? It was I can't even remember what the name of it was. That was on the line. I couldn't tell you what promotion it was from. But he put him away, and then they did the classic, of course, the shaking hands afterwards, and Amir got a big round of applause. It was just top-notch theater wrestling. It really was. And then the rest of the show was lots of really good action. So look, live wrestling cannot be beat. It is always the best thing. And that coupled with the announcement of All In going back to Wembley next year, I have to go back to All In next year.
Yes.
Because I was talking to a buddy of mine yesterday. In fact, that's why I couldn't do the show yesterday. Chatting about Wembley and stuff like that, and I was like, I really have to go because I've seen Bryan Danielson wrestle a couple of times, and who knows if he'll be there next year, right?
Yeah,
I think probably he's back on the owl. Oh no, I'm not back, man. He's back on that ship again.
Let me throw a few suicide dives, though.
Yes. What's that? Wait, Tony for Wembley. He's booked an 80-year-old luchador. I'll be there, brother. But like I was saying this to my buddy, I was like, I saw him in a house show in WWE 15 years ago, having an okay match with Sheamus. Saw him have a fucking 4-way with Jericho when I went to Full Gear. That was nothing. And then famously, of course, he skipped the first All In and then was cleared a week later and wrestled it All Out. And then last year, of course, you boys were there. You got to see that phenomenal swerve. Oh. I wasn't there. I missed it. So I was like, I've seen the greatest wrestler of all time multiple times, but I've never seen him have a really great match in person.
Not in his element.
So I was kind of like, that on top of many other reasons, and getting a whiff of the live experience was like, all right, Wembo, I'll just short of lock that in for next year.
Yeah. I'm hyped. I've rewatched the All In main event every day since last Saturday. I just enjoyed it so much. Every time I had a spare half hour, I was like, I just popped that main event on again. That was good, wasn't it? I just enjoy those pops, the na-na pop. What I missed as well at the beginning when he comes out to his old music, that huge pop, and then the camera whip panning over to the face. It was perfect. Like, it was just like pop, pop, pop. Great moment. It's great. That's a great moment. Just so good. So good.
I'll let you know, Joe, as well. I have come around slightly on, he can have the beard. It's okay. We'll let him have the beard.
Yeah. Well, you were wrong, so I'm glad you recognize that.
You know, we get you were wrong on Tony Storm. I was wrong on the moustache. It's fine.
I didn't mention this last week. I was also wrong on Prince Nana. I said he shouldn't be with Swerve. It was too comedy. And then when he popped out from under the little table, I was going,
He's doing the dance.
Oh, tremendous. So yeah, can't wait for next year. I mean, we've got a whole year to go, or more than a year to the next one. So, you know.
Well, I mean, I think for me, taking the year off Forbidden Door as well is going to build up the anticipation for All In next year. So I can't wait.
So that was my week. A spectacular time. Big up the tune, and any other life guff, boys? Before we got quite a bit of wrestling stuff. We'll be a wrestling heavy broadcast, I think, this week.
Yeah. I am on my holidays from work now for 2 weeks.
Lovely.
Cannot wait. Yeah, I think did I talk about last week? We had some foibles with the old last minute foibles with the old apartment purchase. Where, well, actually, the life cover doesn't exactly cover the exact duration of the mortgage. So you have to fill out these other forms again. And blah, blah, blah. Anyway, that's been taken care of. What I'm doing tomorrow instead is I'm going climbing up at Crow Patrick. Oh, climbing up a mountain. So this is not Darby Allin doing Everest, obviously. This is a much more leisurely mountain climb. But I will be driving tomorrow over to County Mayo, 3-hour drive over. I have a little hotel booked. And then Wednesday morning, I'll be heading up Crow Patrick. It's like a 2-hour each way, I think, up and down. And then I'll be driving home same day. So a lot of driving and a lot of mountain climbing to be doing. So if I disappear, lads, I've probably fallen off a mountain. If you never hear from me again.
Coffin drop off the top of the mountain.
I'm one of those corpses you find halfway up a mountain.
They find his phone with like half a promo on John Moxley before he falls.
What's this mountain called again?
Crow Patrick. It's Croagh, and then Patrick spelled to the normal way.
Again, it's second big. Only the second biggest mountain in
second. He's working his way up. He's working his second best priest. Yeah. Oh dear.
See, this is a thing that a lot of people do. It's kind of a pilgrimage.
Yes,
of sorts. It's not an intensive mountain climb. It's people go because it's a thing that Irish people do. Did you ever go up Crow Patrick? So we'll go and walk up it. That should be good fun. I am actually looking forward to the drive as well. I haven't driven that far ever. That'd be like 3 times longer than my longest drive to date. So I have the Spotify playlist all put together and ready to go. Did just happen, coincidentally, that there's about 3 new albums out this week that I want to listen to. New Wet Leg album is out. New We Are Scientists album is out. New Alex G album is out. So they'll all be reviewed next week as I listen to them while driving up the N4 and the N5 all the way over to Mayo, County Mayo. So looking forward to that. I I did also finish my library book, which I took out a couple of months ago. So I'll talk about that later. And I will be going to buy a new one, or buy one, going to borrow one.
Paul, no, you idiot.
I kept putting a $5 on the counter, and the man looked at me all confused. So looking forward to that. And I'll be going to the cinema to see Old Soups this week, which I know the two of you boys have already seen. I unfortunately have not seen it yet. I probably will be seeing it on Thursday, so I'll let you know next week how.
Maybe we'll do it. I don't know. We'll probably do a spoiler cast or something next.
Can do. I went. I didn't go to the cinema this weekend, but I went to see that dinosaur movie instead. So
okay, I'm very curious to see how that goes.
Yeah.
Well, good luck on the Mountaineering. Bring your flag. Bring your flag. And plant to the top there.
Yeah.
On the wrestling front, there was a TNA pay-per-view last night. They set their North American attendance record. They did the UBS arena in New York, which is like a Dynamite-sized building of yore back in the day.
7,000-ish.
7,000 they did for the show. So, I don't think they came close to selling it out, but like very good for TNA.
Oh, yeah.
2025. And with all those eyes on them, I can only assume they knocked it out of the park and cemented their "we're so back" status. Now, let me take a sip of coffee here and fire up the old cage match and see what we're sitting at here for that show. No, I did not watch it, but it does not seem well received. I think it's the show is like at an average of like 2 out of 10 on cage match or something.
So I've muted pretty much all of the wrestling subreddits because I don't want to have to see WWE shit.
Yeah.
All the WWE ones and a lot of them, like the generic ones. But and so Reddit, because of this, Reddit keeps trying to recommend me more ones, so I end up getting even shitter subreddits like put in front of me. But the one I kept is the TNA one because it is quite entertaining just to see. It's weird because I don't really know who is a TNA fan in like 2025 because back in the day when they were the big rival, the big number 2 or the small number 2,
it was people who hated WWE.
Yeah, I think there was a distinct kind of TNA fan back then, but I feel like they've all disappeared over the last 15 years. They surely aren't many of them still around. So at the moment, and so all they talk about on there is like they're all very like pro WWE, or at least very kind of WWE neutral. Like they're like, oh, this is great. This is better than when we worked with AEW. What did they ever give us and all this? And it's like it's the exact kind of parody of like the territory that WWE comes in and destroys. Like, whoa, they're doing us a favor. This is brilliant. Yeah, I'm sure they're sure.
But do you remember the old like TNA meccas of the world? Like they were always like, and I can. This is what I was saying. I can say this because I was a TNA fan, but they're always like deluded idiots.
Yeah, and they talk a lot about AEW is only successful because Tony Khan has unlimited money to spend, as if
TNA's entire
hasn't lost money for 20 years.
I remember Dixie Carter eating out of bins back in the day.
I guarantee TNA has spent more money keeping that thing alive than AEW invested to get off the ground. I guarantee. Like, there's no way they've spent less than 100 million over 20 years to keep that thing going. Impossible.
But I think at the end of the day, what difference does it make is like if they had put on a great show, congratulations. I think it's baffling that they've had this situation fall into their lap where they have this relationship with WWE now. AJ Styles is on this show. They have NXT integration where a lot of NXT guys win their belts and then don't lose them back and lose them in like triple threat matches.
Yeah.
So like both of their world champions now are held by world championships are held by NXT wrestlers. And so, this was the one. I mean, like you, Joe, I don't follow actively a lot of the TNA scuttlebutt, but it did seem like organically there was a lot more talk around this show.
Oh, yeah.
And then kind of, I didn't watch the show either, but coming out of it, what we hear is, they didn't give Mike Santana the win. Like, it's typical of the Joe Hendry situation of last year. This was their show in New York with all the eyes of the world on you. Put the belt on Mike Santana. Oh, they don't do it. They do a fuck finish where Trick Williams steals the pin, and that's how you end your like big show of the year.
Ending a pay-per-view with that was crazy. That shit that the AEW did like in like the gauntlet in their second match.
But not even end a pay-per-view, end the pay-per-view.
Not pay-per-view, yeah.
This pay-per-view. I mean, they definitely have, I mean, we talked about in AEW the idea of predictability versus giving the people what they want, and that if things being predictable does not necessarily mean they are wrong or not the correct thing to do. Whereas here it felt like, not yet. It is with TNA it is the Charlie Brown kicking the football, where every time no, Joe Hendry, no, not yet. Oh, you thought it was going to be here, no. And so I don't understand kind of the thinking behind it.
No, and I think to Joe's point as well, I also kind of like in the post Twitter age, I'm kind of looking at Reddits more, and like even ones that are shit, you kind of look at them anyway. Because like, well, what are people saying? I want to know what people are saying. It does seem like the worm has turned on the WWE relationship. I think people are fed up of it now, because for ages it was like, oh, this is great. AEW were shit to us, which doesn't make any sense to me. Because they sent TNA Kenny Omega at the height of COVID, when every wrestling was clamoring for life. But anyway, that's a separate argument. But they were like, "Oh, WWE's way better. We're getting Hendry's in the Rumble, doing all this stuff." It feels like now that's worn off, and I think they're fed up of them holding all the titles and like never really putting any people over. And other than like they've got the other than the world title scene, then once you go below that, it's like they're just sending kind of the dregs. So yeah, it seems like there might be a bit of buyer's remorse. They're among the fans. I'm sure TNA are happy for any bit of
Well, what were the three top stories coming out of this pay-per-view? I mean, really what I would have, from TNA's point of view, wanted, let's say I was running TNA. I would want the top stories coming out would have been Mike Santana crowned as new world champion. Yeah. We had Hardyz versus Dudleyz announced, last ever one. That's a hook for down the road. And AJ Styles doing something maybe noteworthy, maybe to lead to a match. So instead, AJ Styles did like nothing. They had a ladder match where AJ Francis took another very, very funny bump.
Yeah.
They had one of the worst production botches in history.
It was so funny.
Where they didn't just go to a backstage promo like 5 seconds early. They went about the length of a promo early. So while they just stood there awkwardly and like waited and talked to each other. I mean, crazy stuff. That's all that I'm seeing is the fuck finish, the botched promo, the bump on the ladder match.
Yeah, and then of course Alex Jones coming out and saying, "Well, Jeff Hardy, you've been a really talented guy for many, many years, but we're going to have one more match at the end there." We're all children of this era. Who could possibly be excited for the radio personality and the agent versus the Hardys?
I mean, there's people who would eat that up.
Really? Is there?
There are morons who are like
people who listen to Bully Ray's show are going to love that.
But that is, that is true, because that show is inexplicably very popular. So I guess we are we're the children are wrong. Maybe that's what I sound like right now.
That feels so old now. It's 25 years since it's the 25th anniversary of TLC. Summer
this year.
25. Imagine that. This is not even like Rock and Roll Express versus Midnight Express. This is like, I don't know, whoever the big teams were in the fucking 60s wrestling each other. This is that equivalent.
I was also just reading an article there just before we went on air. They already did this in TNA over a decade ago, because that was, remember when they did with the American Wolves, they were like the third team to make up for it. Right. Like 11 years ago, they were doing the a bit of TLC nostalgia. Anyone? I know it's been like, because that would have been 2014, I guess it would have been. So that would have been 14 years after. So the nostalgia run was a decade ago. And they're going one more time.
I was going to say, we're about a decade from both the Hardys and the Dudleys having their WWE nostalgia comebacks. That's how long ago that was. WrestleMania 33 or something, wasn't it, when the Hardys returned? And the Dudleyz were a year either way.
Around that time. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's so old hat. It's so old hat.
But I think there's still an audience for it. I don't care to see it at all.
Yeah, but I'd say like but that the audience, whatever audience there is for that, are they going to stick around and watch anything else? I mean, if that is still moving the needle for you in 2025, I mean, you must just be one of the people who thinks modern wrestling is shit anyway.
Right?
But I don't know.
Well, that's what comes back to Joe's argument: is who's watching TNA? What are they getting that they don't get in AEW or WWE?
Yes.
Is it just WWE fans who are kind of like, oh, well, WWE's doing this now, so better give this a watch, because they watch every fucking show.
Possibly. Yeah.
But then there's also maybe a mix of like TNA, like clinger on.
Yeah.
People clinging on from the old days.
Yeah, because there were fans pre-WWE. I don't want to say takeover, but they're TNA fans who exist.
Yeah.
It's odd though. It is odd. I think maybe it's just kind of like they don't like WWE, but they also, people have all these hang-ups about AEW, so maybe they're just kind of like,
maybe it's just being on the wagon of the true underdog. Maybe,
yeah. They're the real art appreciators, but there you go.
I mean, psychologically, there's probably something to.
No, I get you.
We talk jokingly 15 years about the people who would have like Twitter accounts of Kurt Hawkins fan 123. And now people like him now with the major wrestling podcast they do and all that. But like
people like you, yeah.
But you know what I mean? There always will be people who are like, well, I am a fan of Taxon Paxley or whatever she's called in NXT. There's always the person who's like, well, I like this person. I'm hitching my wagon to this person or this company in the face of better logic, bigger logic, bigger stars, better matches, whatever. This is my guy. This is my show. This is my thing. Just to be, different.
So that was Slammiversary. Other wrestling news, we did have Hechicero signed by AEW.
Yeah.
I believe some kind of deal that allowed him to
one of those those new dual contracts that people are allowed to have for some reason, which
you have to imagine that TK looking at the landscape and seeing, WWE is not only back on the aggressive front for signing talent, but like they bought AAA. Like
it might be a visa thing as well.
Yeah, I mean it just kind of seems like you need to put your stamp on any wrestlers you are remotely interested in, because they're getting ready to
pounce.
And any wrestler who, because obviously there's that split, there's that very bitter divide. It's you're either working a AAA or you're working CMLL. And if you fall on the AAA side of that, you are effectively in WWE. I mean, it's a TKO own thing. So but a good get. I've enjoyed Hechicero in what we've seen out of him. I think he's a good heavy for the Don Callis family. A good guy to flesh out that stable. So yeah. Good get for TK there.
I mean, we didn't talk about or have on the rundown, but also the Tony Khan interview about the AAA betrayal. Did you see this?
Yes, yeah, and I love the detail in that story as well, that FTR rang him to say something smells funny, brother.
There's some weird shit going down here in Mexico way, brother.
You knew those Brett Marks would be like, Tony, I think I'm about to get screwed. I'm about to get shot on. Well, I mean, it is nasty business. It is nasty business. For anyone who didn't see it, it was FT. This is back when FTR were the belt collectors.
Yeah,
and AEW and AAA had their partnership, which was always kind of rocky, but I think the Bucks were the bridge there because they were working AAA before AEW even was founded. FTR were your belt collectors, and they were doing a match. It was, who was the other guy in the match?
It was Dragon Lee.
It was supposed to be
Dralistico and Roosh. Yeah,
it was Dralistico and Roosh, and then last second, Dralistico is out and Dragon Lee is in, and everyone basically knew, even though it hadn't been formally announced. Everyone and their dog knew that Dragon Lee was going to WWE at this stage, And FTR, what they called Tony about was that they knew there was WWE cameras at this AAA show. And sure enough, it's Dragon Lee scoring the pin on FTR to take the AAA titles. So you get your little cheeky pin over an AEW wrestler. And they instantly vacate those titles because who gives a fuck about the title? And we got the win. That was wrestling. That was real fucking wrestling.
And he immediately announces he's off to WWE. Thanks.
Yes,
thanks, thanks AEW.
Yeah. But I love that. Like that is like that. We're talking about the TNA relationship. That is WWE just going to AAA, going to Kona, and saying, "We're looking to just perpetrate a complete farce on your show, and we might as well throw your titles in the bin on the way out." And Kona's like, "Yes, sir, absolutely, Paul, sir. Thank you, sir. That's a good plan, sir. Thank you, sir."
Remember when you said Conan was a funny cunt, Paul? You were right in many different ways.
Yes.
We could never have envisioned.
But that was a good story. So yeah, we had that. Also, along with the Hechicero thing, we had a couple of other kind of, matter of kind of formality. We had some All Elite graphics going up on the weekend. Alex Windsor officially signed, obviously, if you didn't know.
Yeah.
So they continue to bolster their rank. There was someone else as well, actually.
Tekla got hers with a very, very funny
that'd be great if they were putting her over everyone and they didn't sign her. But yeah.
She was on probation, apparently.
There's some she beat up her last boss, so that's keep an eye on her. So yeah, that was the wrestling news for the week. Big news transpiring on our fantasy update poll, which you're going to take us through there. We have our own star ratings, we have injury news, we have trades.
Yeah.
So why don't you hit us with the numbers?
Yeah. So segueing from the news into our fantasy league, there is a bit of news that actually we kind of held back for this. Is that Ospreay and Omega are taking time off because they're banged up. No real indication on how long they might be gone for. My assumption, I think I said this to you last week, Joe, when we were talking about the injury angle on Ospreay. He's all over the promotional materials for Forbidden Door. It's in England. Yeah. Surely he'll be on that show. Maybe a question mark now. Maybe he won't be on that show. Maybe he'll be at the show, but maybe not in a wrestling capacity. Yeah, I guess what I read was that he was banged up. The plan was anyway that he would take time off, but that maybe the injuries were worse than had initially appeared. So I don't know what that means in terms of a timeline. Seems to be the same story for Omega. Now, the wording again was a little bit ambiguous in the news stories that I saw, which weren't sure whether the time that he would be taking off would be consecutive or sporadic. I would assume also that if he needs to have time off, he'll probably just be gone for a while. That's the story they seem to be telling on TV, to my eyes.
Yeah.
Don Callis very much, hey, he's gone. We killed him. He's not coming back. So I don't think he's going to be on Dynamite next week and then gone for 3 weeks and then on again. That doesn't seem to be the story they're telling to me. Unfortunately, from a fantasy point of view, they are both Team Barry members.
Yeah.
And in fact, you could very much make the argument that they were among Team Barry's big hitters. In fact, Ospreay just this week, with the 5-star bonus he received, finally supplanting Tony Storm as the number 1 point scorer in the entire league by a point. Now he's gone. What does that mean? So obviously, there's a double-edged sword to this from Barry's point of view, which is that he now has, again, two of his big hitters on the shelf, potentially. However, if he were to trade those out, they do become available for Joe or myself to snap up. So it's a risky play. It's obviously up to Barry what he wants to do.
This is what I've been agonizing over. I would say, in particular for Ospreay, I think the game, for however many more years we do this, so long as he's in his physical prime, the game is pretty much going to be whoever goes first. Failing some massive change in the next couple of years, Ospreay is your man, because they're obviously going to push him, and obviously you're going to get those tasty star rating bonuses on a very regular basis. So, with the ambiguity Paul talked about, I think I wouldn't put this guy back in the free agent pool for anything less than a confirmation he is 100% gone for the rest of the year. It would have to be that level, because that's way too much of a gamble. Kenny's been a nice little earner, but he's not wrestling every week,
No, 9 matches so far this year.
9 matches, and then you factor in, okay, let's say maybe he's back in a couple of weeks. But again, this is another injury for the list. And so maybe he's going like, okay, my already light schedule, it maybe comes back a little bit more. You know, I am going to mull that. The other thing I'm thinking of as well is there's a couple. So I don't know. Did you announce my trade I did do last week when I wasn't?
Okay, no, we didn't. But
okay,
I'll announce it now because you were not on the podcast last week.
Mm-hmm.
Barry did come. I think it was on the Monday to say that he had a trade he wanted to do. So we allowed that trade to be effective from Monday of last week. Because you were not on the podcast, that's fair. Mm-hmm. So Barry did trade out, as we talked about the potential of doing so, Adam Cole.
Mm-hmm.
And traded in Tekla, who then proceeded to get you 4 points at Dynamite. So those 4 points do count for Barry, of course, towards his total. So Barry has now used his 2 July trades. Still has 5 trades for the year overall to use. Joe and myself have 2 trades remaining each. But yeah, Barry did trade Adam Cole out for Tekla. I mean, we would assume that Adam Cole is probably gone for the foreseeable future.
For the remainder of the year, if you're close to it, I would say, surely.
Yeah.
I was kind of... There is a couple of interesting names in that pool. I was also eyeing up Queen Aminata, but she's a little... But then when I was looking at her and Tekla, I was like, okay, realistically, in terms of wins, they're obviously going with Tekla more
right
now. Aminata more in my Booker T Fave 5 right now. But
right.
As me as a fan, but for Tekla, and I think there is some interesting people in that free agent pool. But worth pointing out, Adam Cole was like my last. He's my last
number 10 pick.
Number 10. A lot of interesting mid-carders available that could be nice learners, but I swapping them out for Omega. I'm going to have to mull. I'm going to have to think about it. I'm going to look at some of those names. I have some in my head I'm thinking about, and I think the other thing I'll also just see, maybe we get a bit more report. Ospreay's also a guy he's never been able to take a proper amount of time off, which is probably why he's so banged up. He's just he can never seem to tear himself away. So I wouldn't be shocked if he was back very soon. Kenny, I'm really interested in. I'm gonna keep him for now, but that's the one I'm looking at most keenly.
Right. I mean, looking at the pool, Adam Cole obviously just gone back in 66 points. He'd be among the top earners. Moxley still in there, of course, who was just released by Joe, and he did get a bonus, of course, but actually only ended on 1 point for All In. So no great shame for having him on your team anyway. Shibata, obviously getting a lot of that ops points. Samoa Joe, who's obviously just gone injured, so he'll be on for a while. 85. He was having a very good year. So yeah, I mean, that's kind of where we're looking. Then you got a few, Brody King on 31. He obviously came out of Barry's team as well. Dustin Rhodes on 40 now. He's after his big 28 haul at the pay-per-view. Josh Alexander, Julia Hart, Kevin Knight, 34. Kevin Knight might not be a bad order. Matt Jackson, 31. Nick Jackson, 31. Pac, 36. He was on my team initially. Obviously, he's gone out. Roderick Strong, 34. Yeah, I mean, there's Wheeler Yuta, 42. Couple of names in there. Maybe nothing crazy, but a couple of good names. Yeah, I mean, otherwise then, as far as this last week went, we obviously had the star rating bonuses. Now, the only matches to get those were the Swerve and Ospreay versus Young Bucks matches and the Hangman Moxley match. So obviously Barry benefited most from that, having Ospreay and Hangman. I had Swerve, and then nobody had Moxley or either of the Young Bucks. David the Coward Meltzer, only going 4 3/4 on Tony Mercedes. Which, I mean, I don't think is a crazy rating in and of itself, but then going 4 stars on like the men's gauntlet and the Hurt Syndicate match, I mean, come on.
Yeah, that was it. It was the idea that those matches are close to each other, and it's the idea that the men's gauntlet was good. It was the really outrageous thing.
And 4 3/4 as well on Omega Okada. But there you go. So yeah, as far as the TV that went this week, Joe scoring a 12. Basically, everyone apart from Claudio, everyone who wrestled won.
We're back.
16 for Barry and only a 6 for me. So I was the low scorer this week. And the only other person I have still marked as on the absent list, so to speak, is Hook, who I'm still waiting. He showed up at Double or Nothing. for no reason that I can discern. And I mean, we'll talk about the TV obviously in a little bit. But my one question coming out of All In was, well, Samoa Joe was taken out. What does that mean for the trios belts? And they just made no reference to it, basically whatsoever. And it's like, I mean, okay, we'll talk about it later. That's one of my nitpicks of the week, so buckle up when we get around to that one. But that's basically your Fantasy League update for this week.
Very nice.
Nice. Okay, we do have a little quizzy bop. Quizzy bop. It is, as I was kind of talking to Barry before we started recording, it is pretty much, we're going back to basics here. This is not one of your quizzes with a ton of gimmicks. With before you answer, you have to flip a coin. If you get a heads, you're allowed to answer. If you get a tails, you're not. You have to look out the window before you answer. Tap the desk 3 times. This is going to be a simple back and forth. You each get a question each round. If you get the question, you get points. If you get it wrong, you don't get points. Simple as that. Ooh. There is a slight gimmick to it. It is less of a gimmick and more of kind of an overarching concept. So the quiz is called Marty, we gotta go back. So half Back to the Future, half Lost references there. It's basically a quiz where we're taking a random year, and there's one question for each of you for each month of the year. So you each get 12 questions. And the answer to each month is based on a question that is specific to that month of that year. So you're thinking back. So I am reading currently issue number 5 of Inside the Ropes magazine, all the way back from February 2021.
Okay.
And that issue does include their 2020 year in review, from which I have pulled all of these questions.
Oh, I'm going to show this.
2020. Is, okay, oh God.
We were all sitting in our houses. We weren't allowed to leave. So we're all watching a lot of wrestling back then. Cast your mind back to the COVID era of 2020, only 5 years ago. There's a mix of WWE, AEW, New Japan. I've tried to kind of spread it out as much as possible. So there's no set where you get mostly WWE or mostly. I've tried to be as fair as possible. Okay, so Joe, I will let you pick whether you want set A or set B of questions. And I will throw to you guys, do you want to do a pass the question over in case of one person doesn't know the answer? Yes, okay. We can do that.
That's more fun.
So did you say set A or set B, Joe?
Set A, please.
Set A for Joe. Okay. 2020. Get into your little mind palace now. Cast your mind back. Okay, Joe, question 1 for you. January 2020. Joe, can you tell me who won the women's and men's Royal Rumble matches? So there are 2 points for this question. Who won the women's and men's Royal Rumble matches 2020? And if you can't get them, I will pass one or both over to Barry, depending on how well you do.
Drew McIntyre and Bailey.
Okay, Joe, you score 1 point. Update your score here. 1 point for Joe. Drew McIntyre was correct. Bailey was not correct. Barry, do you know who won the women's Royal Rumble that year?
Was it Becky Lynch?
It was not Becky Lynch. It was Charlotte Flair.
Oh, God.
It's always Charlotte Flair. Why didn't I say for God's sake.
Okay. Barry, question for you. Again, a two-pointer. Which 2 legends had their final matches in this month? One on AEW Dynamite, teaming with Dustin Rhodes and QT Marshall versus MJF, The Butcher and the Blade. Okay. And the other at Wrestle Kingdom 14, teaming with Naoki Sano against Hiromu and Dragon Lee.
For the AEW one, I don't think this is right, but Big Show.
Okay.
And for the other one, I also think this is wrong, but I'm drawing a blank. Muta, I don't think that's right. But
both incorrect, I'm afraid.
Yeah.
We'll throw over to Joe. Joe, do you know either of those? Take a pocket.
I'm trying to remember that first.
I'll give you again. Which two legends, two wrestling legends, had their final matches this month? And it's still the case. That is their final match.
Yeah.
One of them on AEW Dynamite, teaming with Dustin Rhodes and QT Marshall versus MJF, the Butcher and the Blade. And the other was at Wrestle Kingdom 14, teaming with Naoki Sano against Hiromu and Dragon Lee.
I have no idea on the Wrestle Kingdom one.
Okay.
I'll say Yunaki Yama.
Elephant.
And then for the AEW one, I feel like it's in there. I'm just like,
I have no idea on that AEW one.
When you say it, I'm gonna 100% know it, but I just cannot. I don't know. I'll say Tully Blanchard. That's not right, but
it's not Blanchard. Yes. I'm afraid. No points on that one, guys. QT Marshall being in the match might have been a clue.
Oh, DDP.
It was Diamond Dallas Page.
I do not remember him having a match in AEW. Holy shit.
It was Diamond Dallas Page, one off. And the Wrestle Kingdom one, I mean, Hiromu and Dragon Lee might have given a clue that it was a junior heavyweight. Yeah. Junior heavyweight Japanese legend.
It wasn't Liger, was it?
It was Jushin Liger.
That's so annoying. I thought he retired ages, way before that.
That was his final match. Wrestle Kingdom. So, if you remember the DDP one, you might not remember it. If you did, I think there were two very gettable ones, to be fair.
Yeah.
They're the most famous wrestlers of all time. So.
Two wrestling legends. Okay. That is January. We'll move on to February. Barry, you go first this time.
Okay.
I will say, for this question, you do have an allowance. Okay. A 20-second allowance either way. In February 2020, how long did Ricochet's WWE title match versus Brock Lesnar last at WWE Super Showdown from Saudi Arabia?
Oh, I feel like I know that. Was it like 38 seconds?
It was not. That's not within the 20-second allowance. This is only a 1 pointer, of course. Joe, we'll throw over to you.
I'll say 42 seconds.
No, it does not. It was 1 minute 34.
Shit.
I mean, you get your money's worth paying for shows with a 1 minute 34 WWE title. Was it WWE who said, UFC, that's a crapshoot? Main events.
Yes. Yeah.
Lesnar, go ahead and give us a 1 minute 34 match there, brother. Thank you. So sorry, Barry, nothing for you there. Joe, no allowance on this one. You need to be exactly correct. What star rating did Hangman Omega versus the Young Bucks from Revolution receive in the Wrestling Observer?
5.5 stars?
It's not 5.5 stars. Barry, do you know?
Surely 5.
It was 6.
Oh, 6. You went the whole 6.
I went the full 6 on that one.
6 out of infinity. Well done, boys.
Yeah, very good. Okay, back to Joe here. We're into March of 2020. Joe, as the pandemic era of wrestling began, which two wrestlers both debuted on the March 18 Dynamite?
March 18th.
Yeah.
Dynamite 2020. Oh, God.
So when I say the pandemic era of wrestling began, I'm of course referring to crowds no longer being present at shows. Which two wrestlers both debuted on the March 18 Dynamite?
I'm going to remember both if I get one. I'll say Eddie Kingston and Ricky Starks.
Nope, it's not Eddie Kingston and Ricky Starks. Barry, do you know either for a 2 steal here?
Brody Lee.
Okay.
And in one of Tony's earlier fumbles, Matt Hardy.
Both correct.
Yes.
Correct.
Hardy with the teleporting thingy.
So that was the show that's supposed to have been out of Rochester, New York, I would say.
Right.
And then Brody Lee was revealed as the Exalted One, and Matt Hardy.
I was trying to remember his name. Yeah, the Exalted One.
Matt Hardy debuted at the end of that show as well. Okay, Barry, over to you. Also a 2-pointer here. So Barry, you're now up 2-1, so you can take a little bit of a lead here.
Sure.
Which legend returned to and I quote from the magazine, returned to a impotent, crowdless Raw on March 16th And what other notable event in the WWE world happened on that same day?
Well, the legend, I believe, is Steve Austin. And
I'll change notable to historic. How about that?
Historic events. Okay. I have no idea. Did they? No, I was about to say announce the TKO merge. That wouldn't. No, I have no idea.
Okay, well, Steve Austin was correct, of course. March 16.
Yeah.
A little clue there. Also, on March 16th, that was when they announced the venue change for WrestleMania that year.
Oh, yeah.
To the Performance Center out of the whatever stadium was in initially. I was supposed to pass that over to Joe. Sorry, Joe.
I should have got that anyway.
You should have jumped in front of me. Anyway, 1 point for Barry there. Joe, you'll get a chance to get some points back here shortly. Okay, Barry, which uncontracted wrestler was often specifically mentioned on commentary by Chris Jericho in April 2020?
Sorry, I'm just to double check here.
Yeah.
I went first last time and then you didn't pass to Joe. Should it not be Joe's question?
Did I not? Did Joe? No, Joe went first in January and then Joe went first in March. No, you went last time because I didn't pass Joe.
Jericho, Pineapple Pete.
Correct. 1 point
Sugar D.
Shug D. I would have accepted Shug D as well.
Yeah.
Joe, what was the actual final match taped on the night of WrestleMania 36?
I remember this.
I have no idea, baby. Brock Lesnar, Drew McIntyre.
Oh, you might have thought that if you watched the show, but that's actually not correct. Barry, I'll pass it over to you.
This is one of the all-time great shit angles.
It's one of the all-time great wrestling pub trivia quizzes.
Yeah, one of this outside of wrestling, just one of the most stupidest retcons any entertainment company has ever done. They did an angle on Raw where they're basically like, after Drew won the world title and he did his thing where he looked at the camera and said, "This is for you. I know it's hard." On Raw, then they said, well, what actually happened after we went off air was Big Show came out, and Big Show was his first challenger. So that was the actual WrestleMania main event, guys. Big Show versus Drew McIntyre. Why they did that, I still don't know why they did that.
What? Yeah, I can't remember that now, but
yeah, Big Show, Drew McIntyre is the correct answer.
I mean, this is just early COVID throwing any old shite against the wall, you know.
Big Show of all people as well. My God. Okay,
they should do that for All In. Actually, Big Show challenge Hangman Page.
No BS, Pollard. Okay, we're into May now. Joe, you're up first this time.
May. Come on, May.
Joe, is it a 2-pointer? Can you name the two people involved in the finish of the first ever Stadium Stampede match? So who pinned or submitted who is what I'm asking. Stadium Stampede match, Jacksonville, whatever, Florida.
Who would it have been? Who took the pin? I don't know. I'll say Omega Jericho.
I'll give you 1 point. Omega is correct. Omega did win the match for his team, but it was not on Jericho. Do you remember, Barry, who was it on for a point?
I think, was it Sammy G?
It was Sammy G, the big old
one-winged angel off
the concourse.
Yeah,
correct. Sammy G. 1 point for you. Barry, can you name me two of the cameos in the absolutely awful Money in the Bank match held at WWE headquarters that year?
Hellbound, Vince McMahon. I'm trying to think of the people doing those funny bits where they were throwing food at each other. Vicky Guerrero?
I don't have her on my list, but I'll look her up here.
I think I might be wrong, actually. I think she was in AEW at that time.
She might have been. 2020. Let me just double check that. I don't see any mention of it here.
Okay.
So, I'm going to say no.
Okay.
So, Joe, you have an option, a chance to steal here.
Who would be funny? No, they wouldn't have had anyone funny.
Don't think about it that way.
Who would have been shit? God, I did watch this as well. This is a sad thing. Probably one of the last WWE pay-per-views I watched. Gangrel. I don't fucking know. Jesus Christ.
No Gangrel, I'm afraid. No Gangrel, I'm afraid. I have on my list here Brother Love, Johnny Ace, Doink the Clown.
Any non-sex offenders?
Any non-criminals? Any non-criminals in this match?
Let me just check. No. Most of the wrestlers are criminals as well. Okay. On to June. Joe, you're up. No, Barry's up first this time.
I got a point for Vince there, though, didn't I?
You get a point for Vince, of course. So
okay.
You're in the lead 7-2. If I'm counting correctly, which I might have already lost count, but it's okay. Barry, can you name me 2 of Cody Rhodes' successful TNT Championship defense opponents before losing to Brody Lee? And not Eddie Kingston or Ricky Starks.
Why not?
Because they are excluded from this question.
Why?
Too obvious. 2 of the other ones.
2? Oh, sorry, sir. Your answer is too correct. Try again. Anyway, all right, fine. Darby Allin and Scorpio Sky.
1 point for you there. Darby Allin, not correct, but Scorpio Sky is. Joe, can you name one?
Sorry, can you repeat the question just so I could...
Can you name 2 of Cody Rhodes' successful TNT Championship defense opponents prior to losing to Brody Lee, not including Eddie Kingston or Ricky Starks? Very confident sounding noise you made there. Barry got Scorpius. Warhorse is correct.
No,
that was also like a surprise date. That was the same Starks Kingston one. Why is that allowed?
Because I said those 2 earlier.
Because, Barry, I've deigned it to be so. Also accepted Jungle Boy, Mark Quinn, Jake Hager, and Sonny Kiss. They would have all been.
Okay, yeah.
Joe, who won the 2 points also for grabs here? Who won the women's tag team championships on the June 5th SmackDown? Beginning, and I'm quoting the magazine here, the hottest storyline of the summer.
Good God Almighty. Becky Lynch and Naomi.
It was not Becky Lynch
not Becky Lynch. What the fuck? Mercedes Moné and fucking Naomi. Anyway, give Barry the points.
I'll give you
Barry,
one for
give Barry 2 points.
Wait, no,
it was not the correct answer anyway. But
okay,
one of them was correct. I'll give Joe 1 point for that. Barry, can you name the other one? Not Naomi. Naomi was not involved.
Sasha Banks and Bailey
is correct. BFFs or whatever they were called. So that is June. We move on to July. Barry, you're first here. Okay. As fans were permitted to return to New Japan Pro Wrestling, what ultimately disastrous main event were they treated to at that show at Dominion of that year? Not including Ricky Starks or Eddie Kingston.
I'm just trying to think of.
I'll take you get a point for each main event participant. How about that? There's 2. Who against 2?
Naito versus Evil
is correct. He's got it.
Yes. And the big Evil win. That's how they treated everyone for your escapism wrestling in shitty COVID times. Evil got his title run.
He won the IWGP and Intercontinental titles in that match.
Yes.
Good God.
Good Lord. Speaking of, Joe, which women's tag team won the AEW Deadly Draw Tag Team Tournament? I mean, a precursor, they still don't have a women's tag team division, but they did do a random women's tag team tournament in 2020 in July. Which team won that match, Joe? Do you remember?
The media scrum, Tony gave another very wishy-washy. Oh, yeah, it's something I'm thinking about. My God, man, just fucking do it.
It's Thai content energy.
It was not, I'm afraid. Barry, do you remember?
No, they were. Oh, fuck! I don't know how it's after just. What was that fucking girl's name? Diamante, and who's the other one who's always in trouble? Ivelisse.
It's correct. Who was them? Remember them? Remember they won a thing on Dynamite for some reason? Yes, Ivelisse and Diamante won that tournament that led to nothing, and they were never seen again.
Yeah.
Diamante is on Ring of Honor at the odd time. Okay, August. Joe, you're up first here.
There we go.
Which two stinky old concepts, real stinkers we're talking about here, real old piles of shite, which two stinker concepts both debuted on the August 3rd Raw of this year?
Is this Raw Underground, I think it was called?
Okay.
And then I'm not, do I have to get the exact name? Because I can tell you the angle, but not the, I can't remember.
If you could describe me the angle, I'll accept.
It was the debut of like the fucking Antifa ninja.
He's got it. They're both correct.
With Donovan Dijak and Mia Yim and all the
Retribution. Raw Underground and Retribution. That's what I was looking for.
God, I remember that.
What a show. What a show that must have been.
Whenever people talk about like, can AEW restore the feeling, or can this happen in wrestling? I think back to that night, and then like 2 years later, WWE is the hottest business it's ever been in history. Anything can happen in wrestling in like 18 months. That's all it takes. Anything can happen.
Barry, over to you. What was the stipulation for the Orange Cassidy Chris Jericho match on the August 12th Dynamite? And for the second point, who moderated the previous week's town hall debate between the two?
Okay, the stip was, I don't know the exact name, Mimosa Mayhem, and the moderator, infamously, was Happier Times Eric Bischoff.
So Eric Bischoff, you do get a point.
Legendary wrestling promoter Eric Bischoff.
Yeah, on Fox Nation. No, the Mimosa match, I think, was the pay-per-view match. This was the Dynamite August 12th. It had its own stipulation. Joe, do you know what it was?
Oh, I think I might actually know what it is if it's not that one, but go on, Joe.
No. Orange Cassidy can't put his hands in his pockets.
I know I get no points. Can I just ask, was it the no, actually this would have been wrong as well. It would have been after I was going to say, is it the money on the line for the jacket or something like that, but no, I don't think
you actually have it. It was Orange Cassidy would have had to pay for Jericho's jacket damage.
So yeah, I would have had it. Okay, damn. Okay.
Yeah. The score going in September is 14-6 to Barry. So Joe, you got a couple of months here. We're going to probably need to get some points picked up here as well.
Yeah.
Joe, Barry's up first this time. Barry, which dangerous occurrence caused AEW All Out pretty unanimously to be dragged through the coals?
I can't remember the exact nature of the spot, but it was like Sammy Guevara and Matt Hardy like taking a bump on concrete, like off a ladder or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we'll give you that. Specifically, Matt Hardy getting knocked out during the match and the match continuing. Not a good one. They rightly got absolutely annihilated in the press for that one. Joe, good luck with this one. This is really a one. Now AEW star Buddy Matthews was involved in a not very well received romance angle in September in WWE, with which second, and I'll put my camera on to do this. I'm really giving you the inverted finger quotes here. With which second generation superstar?
Fucking Carmella.
It was not Carmella, I'm afraid. Very good guess, though. Very good guess.
Shit.
Carmella. Barry, do you remember?
Well, give me the question again.
Now AEW star Buddy Matthews was involved in September of 2020 in a not very well received romance angle with which second generation superstar?
Aaliyah Mysterio.
Correct. Right.
That was terrible.
I kind of remember that now. Yeah,
that is correct. It was Aaliyah. Okay, moving on to October. Joe, which now AEW wrestler won the 2020 G1 Climax tournament?
Jay White?
It was not Jay White, I'm afraid. Barry for the
Steals.
steal.
We might get Kota Ibushi.
Is correct. It was Kota Ibushi. Okay, Barry, which clothing item would debut at Hell in the Cell 2020 that would go on to define the era?
Clothing item at Hell in the Cell 2020.
Era-defining clothing item.
No fucking idea. I don't know. Pass.
Joe, do you know? Do you have a guess?
Is it the lay, the tribal chief lay?
The Ula Fala is correct.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Roman Reigns, Ula Fala.
Oh, yeah, that was the Roman
Uso
crying match.
Yeah.
For the like tribal chief.
One of the most damaging matches to the art form in the last 50 years.
Get on the island, Oos.
Because then every match became I'm talking to you while I'm punching you and don't make me do this and just give me all you got. Oh, God.
That was the last time I gave WWE a chance because everyone was raving about that match. Oh, you can't watch this match. You can't watch this match. And I watched it and it was 20 minutes of dialogue and I was like,
what are you talking about?
I'm done.
Yeah.
Never again. And
then Afa and Sika came out afterwards and crowned him the tribal chief with the Ula Fala. Which would then, again, go on to define the following 4 years of that company. Okay, Joe gets the point on that one. November, Joe. What was unique about Zelina Vega's release from WWE? This is also a point of contrition of the time.
I think I know this. Yeah.
I remember it, but I'm trying to think what was
unique about it.
God, what was unique about it? I can remember the whole situation.
So Zelina Vega was released in November 2020 is essentially the question. And what was unique about that whole situation?
It was because she refused to give up her Twitch stream.
Is correct.
Okay.
Oh, very good.
She refused to hand over her Twitch account. That whole Twitch gate of late 2020. Barry, who appeared via hologram at the end of the Survivor Series?
Is this the worst year in wrestling history?
It might be. It fucking might be. Who appeared via hologram? I'm going to have to say The Fiend.
It was not Stephine, though, I'm afraid. Joe,
what?
Oh, God, who would it be? The Undertaker.
It was not The Undertaker. Very close, though, because this was The Undertaker's 30th anniversary of his debut. And, of course, was his retirement of The Undertaker character.
Paul Bearer.
Therefore, Paul Bearer.
I remember that.
Posthumously via hologram.
Good God.
Good Lord. Okay, and then closing out our quiz here, Joe, which occurrence, which WWE previously said they would never do, they did, and closed out the TLC pay-per-view. Broke one of their tenets that they said they would never do this. They would never show this on television. And then it happened at the TLC pay-per-view.
I don't know, blood?
It was not blood, I'm afraid. Barry, do you know for a point?
I don't. They said they would never do.
Yeah.
No idea. Absolutely no idea.
Okay. Well, the end of the TLC pay-per-view, if I give you a clue, if I tell you what the main event was, that might point you in the right direction. Randy Orton and The Fiend.
Oh, like kill off a character or...
Well, yeah, commit murder. Randy Orton killed the Fiend by burning him alive.
Oh yeah.
He came back though.
He came back all burned for that one WrestleMania match, and then never again. And then Bray Wyatt, obviously, unfortunately, passed away. So yeah, Randy Orton, you killed, and they really sold it as killed the Fiend. Previously saying
he killed the character.
Killed the character, but WWE said we'll never show murder, we'll never show killing. Oh, Randy Orton killed the Fiend. And then final question for Barry: what was notable? And I will accept one of two answers for this. And in fact, if you get the more obscure answer, I will give you 2 points. Okay, I'll give you a bonus point. What was notable about Kenny Omega's title win versus Jon Moxley at Winter is Coming?
Don Callis interfered, and that was the formation of that unit, that team.
Is the correct answer? Well, it was a screwdriver. Will I give you that? Will I give you that? I'm not going to give you that point, Joe. I'm going to throw it over.
Good gravy. Was it the debut of the Good Brothers?
No. I can't accept that either. It was the start of the AEW TNA working agreement, which we discussed.
We looked at it there. I forgot Callis was still in TNA, wasn't he?
Callis was in TNA, yeah.
It was the start of that crossover. It was also Jon Moxley's first ever AEW pin or submission defeat.
Yeah, wow.
So final score, Barry is our winner, 17-9. So congrats.
Well done, Baz.
Who knows what year might show up in the future?
It's a fun quiz. It's a fun quiz, although I will say 2020 is a hard one to beat.
Yes.
It was one load of old shit.
Yeah, the quiz wouldn't be as good if we were doing a good year, would it be? You know.
Yeah.
Well done, Paul. Thank you very much for that. Segue over here to our post All In Dynamite. So I guess AEW is doing another what are they called? Residency in this here building,
right?
Or maybe not this, but they're doing. I think it is this one. Yeah, for the next couple of weeks in Chicago. If it's not this one, then they're going to one next week and starting from there. But I believe it's this same one. This is kind of a cool, kind of a Hammerstein style building, kind of small but like cool, like it had a cool vibe to it. Hangman came out, did his victory speech, thanked everyone, like he was listing off people to thank, and you knew he was intentionally leaving Swerve off. And then eventually he did thank Swerve, which I thought was a nice little touch. So he went on and he basically concluded by saying that if you want to know what kind of man he was, look at him tonight because he's the champion of the fucking world. Woo! Kind of little swearing. And there you go. It was very much just a rah we won thing, but it was good.
Yeah, very good.
Yeah, I mean, I guess this is where we come to expectations, right? I do feel like a lot of people, for whatever reason, their brains have been warped into soup and then reformed back into brains, but it's just maybe the brains are still a bit soupy. I feel like people have been conditioned over the years to expect the Raw after WrestleMania to apply to the Dynamite after All In, for better or worse. So expectation-wise, were you guys going to this expecting anything other than a standard Dynamite, or do you feel in retrospect that we should have got anything other than a standard Dynamite? Should the Raw after Mania become a thing in the AEW world? I guess what I'm asking.
Well, no, I don't think they need that. But I thought this was. This particular segment was very much just celebratory and going on. But other than that, I thought this show set some wheels in motion. I thought that this was fine. I don't think I need anything more than what they did on the show, to be honest.
It's not really their style. It's very slow burn. Always, I feel.
Yeah.
So to come into the show afterwards and be like, right, Hangman gets murdered by the hologram of the Fiend or whatever. I just no. You know what I mean? It's okay. They just have like a little postscript to the thing and just nudge things along. You got Darby, later on in the show and furthering that. So yeah, I think it's fine.
I might have liked a little bit more in terms of what the next direction is. I would have liked her to, like, maybe the show to have gone off the air with the next challenger for Hangman. Who's the next challenger?
This brings me to a little point I wanted to throw into the show. Forbidden Door needs to be moved away from the summer. That's my contention. It's just this awkward little standalone co-promotional show that always gets in the way of, like, it's just before All In, it's just after All In. Put it in January or February or something, get it out of the way. So then you could, because I think at Forbidden Door it's just going to be a bunch of, like, we're not going to get a lot of storyline at Forbidden Door, are we? We might get, like, Swerve Okada. That's going to go in. But we're not going to get, like, we're not getting Mox and Darby, I don't think, at Forbidden Door. We're not going to get, like, Hangman MJF at Forbidden Door. That's going to be all out. Forbidden Door is just going to be, like, a couple of whatever counts as a dream match these days. And then a few AEW matches, a few CMLL. It's going to be a bit of a, variety show rather than a story
non-canon,
And that's kind of the problem. Like, they're kind of setting things in motion for all out, but then they've still got, that's still 2 months away or whatever it is.
Right.
So I don't know.
And the other problem is that New Japan just started their G1. So in terms of
that's the other thing. It's the same
availability for people to show up on Dynamite. I don't feel like there's going to be much of that.
It's the worst time of year.
Yeah.
Tony, let's do it in October.
So that was my come away from Dynamite. I thought it was a fine show, fun show as always. But, now that chapter has closed, I would have liked a little bit more sprinkling of the direction. Which we got with, like, Tony Storm and Athena. I would like a bit more of that with, like, Hangman. Maybe and we got with Okada. Like, those two segments, the Okada segment and this Tony Storm segment, I thought were perfect. I think that was exactly what I wanted.
Tony Storm, tremendous.
We love Tony Storm. Barry, are you throwing the towel in as Joe did last week on your Tony should go back to old Tony Storm?
Oh no, I gave that up ages ago.
Good man.
I think over the course of the Mariah May feud, I feel like she really figured it out, and she's been tremendous. I love Tony Storm. I was not down early on. I will admit that, of course. But yeah, no, I think she's one of the highlights of the show every week.
The other thing, sorry, before we go on, is I would have liked there to have been some follow up, as I talked about earlier, on, like, the ops situation. What's happening with the trios titles? Like, Joe's out. What does that mean? And then Dynamite and Collision came and went with, like,
no update.
I mean, they mentioned it, but, like, no update in terms of, well, what does that mean for the trios titles? Like, that stuff is sloppy feeling.
We got our first vignette of the Young Bucks arriving without all their bells and whistles because they're longer EVPs. I thought it was cute.
I like that, yeah.
Kyle Fletcher defeated Mascara Dorada. Get a little bit of heat back for the surprising loss on the pay-per-view.
Yes.
Good fun, good action. Dorada is really good.
Yes,
Fletcher is obviously, look, he's one of the best in the company now. I think he's really got the momentum behind him. He's top notch.
For sure.
We got a lengthier Matt and Nick segment where they were backstage having to get changed in the locker room. This is very WWE. People were walking up and chatting to them. It was very. I thought the idea was cute, but I thought there was too much, like, just camera following them around like it's a sitcom, and then people walk in and out of frame and say things to them and then walk off. I was like, okay, it's a bit
right.
But whatever. It was cute enough. Ricochet came up and Don Callis approached them, so they're teasing a Callis Bucks.
Well, they teamed with the Callis family on this show. I think that's what they're just getting at.
Yeah,
I don't know like long term if that'll be a thing.
I feel like it could be, but I'm not too sure. We'll see, I suppose.
Yeah.
MJF and the Hurt Syndicate did a promo. This was kind of your big red flag on the show. MJF basically said, "I'm definitely not going to use this like a Money in the Bank briefcase," which of course means he absolutely will do that.
But Tony Khan gave that impression as well on his, like, was on the presser after All In, where he's like, "Wow."
Yeah, he said it wasn't. But then when you have, like,
it's blatantly apparent on Dynamite that is what's
on the show that it is. Yeah. Look, maybe Tony was telling the truth, and MJF was saying that because they're like, "Look, we need you to say this to happen."
But Athena did it as well. It's like, yeah, but the MJF in particular, like, he is the classic definition of the characters that when he says he's going to do one thing, he's going to do the other thing.
Yes. So worried about that, but look, there we go. We got our designated crazy 8-man tag PWG match here. We got Brody King, Bandito, and Jet Speed versus the Young Bucks, Josh Alexander, and who's the other heel?
Hechicero.
Hechicero, the aforementioned Hechicero. And the Bucks came out with a shitty video entrance thing with Comic Sans on it. Justin Roberts gave them a very funny intro where he just said their names and very quickly got out of the ring.
And Nick Jackson.
This is good stuff. I thought this was, it was nice that they had an actual, a tangible follow-up to them losing their roles, so basically everyone, they even implied with the video screen that like even people in the office are like ripping the piss out of them because they can't do anything now, that was fun.
Yeah, their pyro didn't go off with the dollars.
And then they had a crazy match. This is your crazy all-out action match, and it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun.
Hechicero Bandito, I guess, is where they're going for.
Yeah, so Hechicero challenged him on the ROH show. Apparently that Bandito Takeshita match was super, which I would believe, of course.
Yeah.
I mean, I kind of feel like, are we getting back to once upon a time where it's like, okay, we're going to start pushing ROH on this show more because maybe there's a fresh round of negotiations. We're trying again to get it on telly or something. I don't know. But yeah, Hechicero getting this win here on TV to set up an ROH title match, that was unexpected in a match with all these stars in it.
Yeah.
But yeah, there you go.
I mean, I'll add Ring of Honor negotiations to my list of muted words on my favorite social media. I do not want to hear about Ring of Honor and their fucking TV negotiations ever again.
Yeah. I mean, especially since that show is so cold and there's no, there's no kind of like, it's kind of a shame that it's behind a paywall, but Ring of Honor is so good, I have to pay it to watch it.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, that then led into this SmackDown segment here where Cope came out. Cope comes out and he recaps like 6 months worth of angles. I so did not need this. This is like Bischoff brained, like Tony Khan thumbnail mindset, where you have to recap the whole feud because you were off TV for like 4 weeks, so people won't remember. Talked about wanting to come back, and feuding with Christian, and Christian does this, blah, 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 blah. Oh, sorry, but he went even further back. Sorry, he talked about getting cleared and training with FTR, and he did all that stuff. All of that just to say that he as you kind of might have picked up from the pay-per-view, he's like, I'm not buddies with Christian. I'm telling you, he can go figure that out, and then he can come talk to me. But he says, my goal is FTR. So that was could have cut this segment in half and still had that point come across.
Mm-hmm.
Stokely comes out with a bunch of guards to taunt Cope. Cope, of course, dispatches them in 10 seconds. And I kind of know what they were going for. They were doing this thing where like Stokely was like looking out of the ring, calling for more people to come in and help him. And then he just slowly turned around, realizing he was going to get speared. But it looked so stupid because he was looking out of the ring as the realization set in that he's about to get speared. Like, well, just get out.
Just leave the ring. Yeah.
It was I did not like this segment at all. This was very goofy and not in a fun way. But yeah, he spears Stoke, and look, they're doing All Out's in Canada, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. So you imagine they give Christian a few weeks off. He'll come back probably maybe at Forbidden Door to set up the All Out
the
thing.
Bret Hart tribute match.
Yes.
At All Out. Yeah. Very good.
Mark Briscoe says, if it looked like a duck and it walked like a duck and it quacked like a duck, it's a duck. And he went on to say that MJF is a bitch, ducked and dodged him at All In, and basically said that made it clear that they are not done with each other following the evoking of his brother's name. Have you watched that Players Tribune thing?
Oh yes, very good.
Is it good? I still haven't watched it. I heard it's great.
Yeah, brilliant.
Tony Khan's new favorite gimmick, the money match. We got the four heavy hitters of the women's division. We got Willow, Statlander, Aminata, and Tekla for $100,000.
Ooh.
I thought this was good fun, good heavy hitting action. It really seems like, unless this is like a red herring, it does seem like they are going to have Statlander go heel, because she was basically teaming up with Bane for a lot of the Gauntlets. And then in this, it was kind of like she was just like slapping people around and getting heat from the crowd. And Again, unless it's fake out, and maybe they'll have her save Willow at some point from the Death Riders or something. But certainly seems like they're leaning that way. This is a good match, good all action match, and it came down to Tekla and Aminata, the feud of the year, of course. Interesting direction here. They had Sky Blue come out and distract the ref. Julia Hart got in and missed it. Aminata, allowing Tekla to get the pin. Then Tekla was like gurning in Aminata's face afterwards, and Aminata like shoved her in the face as she was getting out of the ring, which was funny. So I guess we're doing Tekla, Hart, and Blue as the new stable.
As a little faction.
Some lucky bitches.
Yeah.
I like it.
I think that's good for Hart, Blue, because we've had a lot of conversations about this division and how stacked it is and how deep it is as well. It's not a bad idea if you're someone like Sky Blue to get yourself in a little stable with an up and coming star, because I think like Sky Blue's like all right, but she's definitely like, when you look at this wave of new talent that's come in, like your Teklas and your Aminatas, like they blow away people like Blue, who's been in the company for years, and you're kind of thinking there's no more of this kind of thing where it's kind of like, you know, like where the standard was really low and people were complaining about the division a lot. This thing got very good very fast, and I think it's going to be a real sink or swim moment because, of course, there's only so many spots in the division. And so, yeah, you know, I think even Julia Hart, I mean, it kind of feels like, I mean, that injury was so horribly timed. Kind of feels like they've moved on a little bit from her. So I think this unit would be good for all parties involved. And plus Tekla, you know, having someone to kind of take her losses, give her some backup. Yeah, I enjoyed this whole thing.
Yeah, very good. Just interested to see where the old women's division go. With Mercedes still having her belt, Tony still having her belt. Sort of continuity, but where do we go?
Yeah, and we're getting the old, like, again, another Charlie Brown moment. It's kind of like, are they going to go with Athena for real this time? Are we rescuing Athena from ROH Purgatory? I don't think so. I don't think we are. I think she's getting a pay-per-view match out of Tony, and then that's it. Was Mercedes on Collision? I didn't watch Collision.
No Mercedes.
Okay, so Mercedes just kind of off at the moment. So whatever.
I mean, if I took that pile driver off the second, I'd probably want a week off at least as well.
Yeah, she was the only one, because none of the other people who took crazy bumps were off this show. They were all wrestling. Tony came out on the balcony for a promo. She had a lot of fun talking about her match with Money and how she was still the champ and all this other stuff. They did tease a second match between the two, which I'm sure would happen at some point. She said her tits are pointing to the future, which I thought was a great line. Athena,
and then got a tits chant as well.
Yeah, tits chant, which is great. We
need more of that.
Athena appeared on the screen with Billy Starks, who towered over her like the big gold Homer. Look closer, Tony. So basically, she hyped herself up about being the forever ROH champion and things like that. And teased that she would beat Tony. She also referenced the fact that I guess Mina Shirakawa hurt herself in the gauntlet, and so they cleverly kind of worked that in. Athena said that basically kind of like, you know, Mina came into my company and I took her out, basically. So that was nicely done. And as we alluded to earlier, Athena was kind of like, oh, I might use this contract here, I might use it there, you never know where I'm going to use it. Oh God. But certainly seemed like the next pay-per-view is likely what they're going to do this on.
All out, I would say,
yeah. All out rather than Forbidden Door?
I think so.
Okay. So that'll be a good match. After beating Money, I don't see Tony losing this instantly to Athena, but I'd like to see more Athena on this show on a regular basis, but it seems like she's the linchpin of ROH for whatever reason. Got a patriarchy promo, which I thought was pretty good. Nick Wayne, I thought, did quite well. I haven't heard him speak very much, but he was quite good.
Decent.
Mama Wayne spoke as well. I said, "These are my boys." which was funny because obviously then you got like British Kip Sabian standing there. So yeah, they just kind of did the standard thing that like he didn't take their advice. They brought up the world title fuck up when Cage tried to cash in his thing. So they tied up a couple of loose ends there. So there you go. So that was good stuff. Out came Okada and Callis. This was another kind of like we had our victory, so we're coming out and we're celebrating thing. But then the twist in it was that Okada mentioned Swerve. He said, "You screwed my friends, the Young Bucks." You
bitch.
And yeah, so he screamed "you bitch," of course, and it wasn't a comedic "you bitch," it was an angry "you bitch." And in a great retort, out comes Swerve with Nana. They dance down to the ring.
Swerve looking like he was in the fucking Hurt Syndicate or something, by the way.
What do you mean?
Oh, the shooting it on. My God.
I didn't even notice.
Oh, art. Masterpiece stuff.
Ooh, that gives me an idea for next year's All In. Swerve turns heel, joins the Hurt Syndicate.
Takes out Nana.
Takes over the Hurt Syndicate and then goes after Ospreay. It's like Swerve Ospreay main event All In. That'd be
All In 27.
And then they start playing and Uptown Funk gonna give it to you. And Uptown Funk, and they do the dance and then
Swerve gets in Okada's face and said, "I did do that. What are you going to do about it, bitch?" Which got a big pop. I like that. I like him standing up to Okada. They face off. That'll be a fun match. Again,
for sure.
Is that maybe Forbidden Door? Again, we are in this weird thing because it's like all the matches they were building up. You're kind of like, okay, well, I assume you're not doing that in London cross-promotional show. So yeah, not quite sure when we're getting.
Maybe they will. Maybe we're not giving them enough credit. Maybe this is stuff they're building for Forbidden Door.
Yeah, and maybe like the crossover stuff will just be undercard tags and multi-mans and stuff. As we've been talking about the last couple of weeks, there's not really a lot of juice in New Japan versus AEW matches.
No,
the days of Okada versus Bryan Danielson are gone. You know that.
Even last year was main evented by Swerve Ospreay, two AEW guys.
It is ultimately an AEW pay-per-view that I think is mainly going to be just like sprinkled with appearances.
Don't forget MJF Mystico. Is that going to be the big?
Yeah, I guess so.
Match.
You kind of would have hoped that with the big unmasking angle that they would go back and do the payoff in Arena Mexico, so the heat would probably just be spectacular. But yeah, I mean, Forbidden Door makes sense. And yeah, even if you just do that match, that's probably a sufficiently big cross-promotional match, and then the rest of it you can just do an AEW show, with some cameos. Main event was Hangman, Powerhouse Hobbs, and Mark Briscoe versus the Death Riders. This is a good all-action match. I thought it was kind of weird having Moxley and Page kind of mixing it up.
Yeah.
So soon after Page, maybe I would have foregone that, but good stuff otherwise. It was a nice solid 6-man tag. Page got the win, and the big tease to end the show was that you had Darby Allin looking on from so you would imagine I actually think he'll probably do this for a little while, because the vibe I got from this show in Collision was that they're doing the classic rematch clause, for lack of a better term. Like Hangman's first challenger is probably going to be Moxley. And
they're not going to do the Darby match until Starrcade. Is that what you said?
Yeah. I think Darby will be doing a lot of this. I think he'll be doing a lot of watching from the crowd for the next few weeks. But solid dynamite, I thought.
Yeah.
The only thing I saw from Collision was I did see the Colt Cabana angle, which I thought was pretty well done.
Yes.
Death Riders bloodying him up and hanging him and killing him and murdering him to get back at Page, which I thought was well done. I didn't see anything else from it. Did anyone else watch anything?
Of course.
Oh, okay. How was it?
It was all right. I mean, there were two reasons why I wanted to stay up for Collision. Ricochet Air Fox I wanted to check out. That was very good as advertised. And also Shibata against Roosh I wanted to watch. So I did stay up and watched it live, and then as soon as that Shibata Roosh match ended, I went to bed. So I didn't watch the main event. But we opened with Dustin Rhodes coming out and talking about his daddy, and his daddy say, "When things get hard, baby, you keep on stepping." So he said, "I keep on stepping. I keep stepping." And then Don Callis and Kyle Fletcher came out and he said, I'm going to win that title from you. I'm going to kick your head into the front row. And so I think we talked about last week. I don't anticipate that Dustin Rhodes is going to have a very long reign. Yeah. I think Fletcher will have it by Forbidden Door, I would say. Ricochet AR Fox had a very good PWG style match, as they'd say again, but a match that you would expect from them. The thing with AR Fox is, if I pull up the fancy league here, AR Fox is 1 win from 18 matches. So I would like to see him get a couple of wins, a couple of collision wins here and there. I mean, come on. Because as much as he gets over with his matches, and I think we mentioned before, he shows up in these matches, and by the end of the match, he's the most over guy. It would be nice for him to have a little bit of credibility as well. But the match itself was very good. We had then, Cole Cabana on commentary. I did notice early on, Cole Cabana is doing commentary. I guess because we're in Chicago, that might be why he's there. I never caught on to the fact that he was going to get attacked. But early on, suddenly Marina Shafir appears from behind with a steel wire and starts choking him unconscious, and Mox and Yuta join and bloody and beat him up and hang him from the apron. And so as you said, Barry, maybe this Hangman feud will continue. Megan Bain, Time Mello, with everybody banned from ringside. So Maine. It's got to be Maine. Megan Bain beat her with the big old flying lariat, the big Undertaker flying lariat, and the running powerbomb for the win, which is again a great finish, much better than the F5. Which did you notice, Barry? That I don't remember if we mentioned it on the show, Joe, that Statlander hit Megan Bain with a better F5.
Yes,
Bain has herself ever done.
Yes,
so, that running powerbomb, way better finish. I really like Megan Bain's flying clothesline as well. I think it looks great. Yeah, for as big as she is. We had Don Callis trying to recruit Scorpio Sky and Top Flight. Chris Daniels says, "Hey, these guys don't need any representation." And Callis said, "Hey, maybe we'll have a match down the line." So I guess they'll do a little Scorpio Sky and Top Flight versus who are the real plebs of the Don Callis family. You're like Rocky Romero, Lance Archer, and Beretta or something like that, probably. Alex Windsor beat Taya Valkyrie in short order. Athena appeared on the balcony again and made fun of Tony Storm and Windsor. So I think they're doing an Athena-Alex Windsor match on this week's Collision.
Okay.
And Athena was saying, I'm so great, and making fun of Tony Storm. And Tony Storm kept sprinting down the aisle all of a sudden. I said, "Hey, you're in my balcony from Dynamite. Nobody's allowed to be in that balcony except me." So she said, "Athena, come down here and fight me. If you want a title shot, you can have it right now." And Athena said, I'm not taking that title shot now. I'm going to stay up here in your balcony and I'm going to enjoy myself. And Storm said, "Well, if you're not coming to me, I'm going to come up to you." And she ran into the crowd and up the stairs. And Athena went, "Hey, wait a minute," and ran off into the crowd, disappeared. And then Tony posed at the balcony for everyone to take pictures of. Anthony Bowen's Billy Gunn backstage. They're still teasing that split and teasing the Bowens heel turn, which I feel like it must be pretty nailed on by now, that what's going to happen is he will answer and lose to the Max Caster challenge is my assumption. As part of they'll do a little double turn. I don't think that double turn will ultimately mean a lot for Max Caster either way. But we talked about the Bowens face run, not exactly working out. So that seems to be the direction they're going. And they had Anthony Bowens staring at a Max Caster picture on an iPad here. So it does seem, he's obsessed with Caster. He can't get past it. So that's what they're doing. We had Big Bill, Brian Keith, Crew, the Gates of Agony, and the Guns in a $200,000 tag team match. I guess there's two of them, so $100,000 each. This was the match where, and I haven't heard any news about it since. But this was the match where apparently Colton Gunn hurt his knee. I don't know if you guys had heard about this, but
no,
yeah.
So the Guns just having returned at All In. This was their first match back. Big Bill, sort of in the same way that the Claudio does the pop up into the uppercut. Big Bill pops Colton gun up into the air to like give him a punch. And when he landed like straight down, he reached immediately for the leg, and he was being checked on for the rest of the match. I haven't seen anything in the news cycle about the severity of the injury or any news about it basically whatsoever. So I don't know what the status of that is, but I mean, God, these guys are cursed, I feel like.
Yeah, it's rotten luck.
Between Jay White, Juice Robinson, and the Guns, they cannot stay healthy for any amount of time, it seems, the four of them at once. So I don't know if Colton is indeed hurt. I don't know if they'll go with like Austin and Juice as a team for a while, or whether they'll just, again, disappear off TV for a while. But I mean, they did tease to a Juice being Bill match, which I suppose will be on Collision next week. So we'll see about that. But it did appear that Colton was hurt here, which is not good. Gates of Agony won the money anyway. Team Ricochet won the money after he interfered in the match. Kyle O'Reilly answered Max Caster's challenge and beat him handily. Ishii and Hologram were watching backstage, I guess because they're part of the conglomeration. They're still doing some conglomerationing. And then Roosh beat Shibata in a surprise and upset, I thought. So I don't know if LFI are going to challenge for the trios titles again, because we've had no clarity on what the situation with the trios titles is. It does seem like Jurlistico, Mortos, and Roosh will be, given that Roosh beat Shibata here after Jurlistico, Mortos interference. I'd be surprised if they weren't the challengers, maybe at Forbidden Door. But again, what's the story with the trios? Powerhouse Hobbs ran down for the save, but again, there was no attempt to explain. Is it just Joe is still the champion, and when he's back, they'll do the match? I mean, there's precedent for people disappearing and being stripped and doing interim titles. So I'm surprised that they're just making no mention of it here. And then I didn't watch the main event, but Bandito, Mascara Dorada, and Jet Speed beat Don Callis family. That was the main event. I don't think there's any angle or anything at the end.
So that's AEW television for the week. AEW. Paul, are you watching the G1?
I am. I watched the first 2 days.
Oh, okay.
Of the G1.
How you finding it?
Not much to report. I mean, the thing with the first 2 days is it's not like day one was block A and day two was block B. Mm-hmm. For the first 2 days, day one is all the block A and B block matches. And then day two is also all A block and B block matches. So it was like 20 matches across the 2 days, which there was a lot. The shows were a little on the... shows weren't very long. Shows were around 3 hours, but still, like, when you're watching so many shows, it feels like a lot. I think it'll be back to normal tomorrow. It'll probably be just A block, which is... I mean, I can take a lot of G1 if it's just 5 matches each day. I'm not so much a fan of the 10-match streak. For both days of weekends, a little much for me. You'd be surprised to hear that Takeshita has had the 2 best matches.
Of course.
Again so far, with ELP most recently and Gabe Kidd on the first night. Two absolute crackers. Gabe Kidd was hurt, though. He did open the second night on crutches, that he hyperextended his knee in the Takeshita match. No word yet if he's out of the tournament or he forfeited his match. It was a shame because that was the match he was scheduled with Zack Sabre Jr., the 2 English boys. And it was supposed to have been the main event of that show. So that was forfeited, unfortunately. But so far it's been okay. I mean, the problem is, for example, the first show opened with Yoshihashi Shingo. So I'm like, okay, we're opening with the Shingo match. Great. I love Shingo. He's that guy who has those really great matches. Shingo, yeah. 4-minute match. Yoshihashi beats him clean. Okay, I don't mind so much about the result. You can do, upsets and surprises, but like...
You're the G1, yeah, but that's
I want a good Shingo match,
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you do those quick surprises when you're doing your... And conversely, the main event was a 21-minute Tanahashi Taichi match.
Yeah.
Taichi's 45, and he's the younger of the two. And Tanahashi, God love Tanahashi. We all love Tanahashi on the show. But, he's at the stage where he has to do that little, upper body run before his, legs actually start running. So he does a little, here we go. I'm going to run now in a second. And he, potters around the ring. But, I would have preferred a 20-minute Shingo match to a 20-minute Tanahashi match at this stage. And yeah, I mean, look, when Takeshita came out, it was like, all right, here we go. I mean, other good showings so far. I thought Shooter has looked good so far.
Okay.
I still have issues with his presentation, but he's like ginormous now. I don't know if you've seen how big Shota Umanov has got recently. He is like, he's not necessarily like Scott Steiner in terms of the muscularity, but like in terms of the pure like thickness, he's like crazy looking. He's like pre-evolution Batista.
He's like
Jesus, crazy jacked Shota Umanov. But then he's got this like child's head on top of it. Do you know, that doesn't quite work. Like he's got the little bleached blonde hair, no beard at all, big saucer eyes. It's like, God, if he would just like, I know he shaved the head recently, but if he would like grow a little beard or something, just to kind of, his character is called the Roughneck, and he looks like the least roughneck guy. Admittedly, like I said, he's huge and jacked, but he's like, he's not got a very threatening face, unfortunately. But his match was good. Thought Umura's looked good. Kid, of course, as I mentioned, although he didn't have a match the second night. Sabre Jr., as you'd expect. He said, yeah, I mean, it's been good fun. I would say there's nothing go out of your way to watch yet. The two Takeshita matches were the Gabe Kid match I probably just about preferred to the ELP match, but they're both very good. So Takeshita beat Gabe Kid and then lost the ELP. But I was still anticipating Takeshita will be involved come
because it's how many people are coming out of each? It's 3 people coming out of each block, isn't it?
Yeah. So the winner qualifies directly, and then 2 and 3 have a playoff to make the semifinals.
I'd be shocked if Takeshita is not in. That's 6 people. I'd be shocked if he's not in that mix.
Yeah. I mean, I still am not massively, convinced by like your Callum Newmans.
No, of course. Yeah.
So there's still a bit of, somebody will come out. Oh, here's the Tsuji match. Oh, he's against Yoshihashi or whatever. And I think I said this last year as well. There's no Yano this year, which, look, he's not going to give you a great match, but I like that he broke up. You get 4 matches of very serious New Japan wrestling, and then you have a little Yano match where he's running around, tying people to the chairs, and I kind of miss when he's not in it, because I feel like that kind of broke the shows up quite nicely, and there's no real replacements for that, unfortunately. But I mean, enjoyed it so far. None today, so the show is back tomorrow. I'll be away climbing a mountain, but I'll catch up afterwards.
Will give us a weekly G1 check-in, I suppose, as that rolls on.
Only 2 real recommendations so far: Takeshita Kid, Takeshita ELP.
Okay. Onto the non-wrestling reviews.
My God,
got a lot of films to watch here. Joe, you saw the Superman, did you not?
I did. Superman 2025.
What did you? I also saw. What did you think? You kick us off.
It was a fun 2 hours. I enjoyed it. I didn't dislike it. My biggest issue was too much going on, baby.
Yeah.
Mr. James Gunn, let's do 400 ideas in one film.
Yes.
And not do any of them to, the full extent. So that was again the biggest problem. It was every 5 minutes something, this is happening. But I don't want to spoil it for Paul, but like, basically anything anything you can imagine happening probably happened in this fucking movie. It's got like dogs, it's got monkeys, it's got parallel this and that, and it was just crazy. I
think even the trailers give that vibe though as well, without spoiling things. I remember watching the trailer, I was like, oh, this looks great.
Yeah, but also 100 characters in it.
You've got like Nathan Fillion, okay, he's a Green Lantern guy. Isabella Merced's in it. She's a character I've never heard of. I'm like, because this is a problem with even the pre-Gunn DC movies. They all had 800 million things going on. Because I think Gunn is very sensible, and I think he's like, okay, no origin story, okay? We all agree on folks, no origin story, okay, great. I think he takes that to the extreme in that, because this is also the first movie for the quote-unquote universe, right? So, like, it opens with a very old school, like a title crawl almost, saying, this is the world we're in. This is, Superman showed up this many years ago. And that's all well and good, but, like, Now, it's not to the point that you like are struggling to understand or anything. Is they very quickly explain who the Nathan Fillion group are, but like you're saying, they're just there. Here's like 2 lines explaining who they are, and then you're on to the next thing. And there's a war, and they're they're not explaining Superman is. They expect you to know who it is. That's fine. Yeah. They don't really like. They don't go super in depth on a lot of the Daily Planet stuff. This film obviously has a lot of Daily Planet stuff.
They completely skipped it. I actually really liked all of the casting for the Daily Planet, from Rachel Brosnahan as Lois Lane to I can't remember his surname, Skylar, whatever his name, from who played Jimmy Olsen. Jimmy Olsen, great. Yeah. I like the kind of but there's a couple of other supporting characters, but they're like. They get one line in the whole film. You literally don't get anything from them, including Perry Wyatt, the editor. It's like, he says nothing. I'm like, God, I would have just loved to have been more in that newsroom and seen a bit more of a Daily Planet. I heard people referring to it as like a great journalism movie, and I'm like, sorry,
it's not great.
You don't even see the newsroom. You don't see any of that. It's a complete afterthought.
They do the kind of standard thing of like when Superman's fist fighting Lois is off, sure the story gets out, but that doesn't make it a great journalism movie. I mean, I can kind of see it is like you were saying. Look, it's Gunn. I was fascinated because Gunn even said this himself. He's like, I don't know if I want to do Superman. It's not really the type of character he typically does. And there is a bit of a wrestle going on between his sensibilities and his kind of off-kilterness with the conventional heroic archetype of Superman, and I do think the film is messy. I think the pacing is a little bit odd, but I will say it's very much I loved it. I came out of it and I was like, it was a kind of like a more than the sum of its parts type thing. Because I also thought it was a bit messy. I thought the pacing was a little odd. I thought it was throwing 800 things at you. But I inexplicably kind of just thought it worked. I think there's like a sheer sense of momentum to it. It nails its core ideas really well. And so you kind of just like, you kind of hand wave some of the rest of it. I thought Corin Sweat was absolutely fantastic as Superman. I think a combination of like Gunn, because even though Gunn, he's very like, he likes his off-kilter characters, his oddballs, but he's always had the emotional heart of those movies exactly right, with the Guardians movies in particular. Like he always nails that stuff. He nails it in this, and the lead performance, I think there's a worse version of this film in another timeline with a different actor and a different director. Same exact script. It's very cheesy at times, intentionally so, very idealistic, a little bit saccharine. But they pull it off in that way where it's like the execution saves it, I think. And I feel like it was an extremely rare, uplifting superhero film, which feels so not done anymore. I mean,
it did feel a bit like a Saturday morning cartoon version.
At times, yeah,
totally. Like even how sort of nice it was, and how kind of almost naive, it's naive optimism kind of thing. Throughout a lot of it, where it's like, this is Superman. I like the fact that he's this kind of goofy kid from the Midwest or whatever, and I like the casting of his parents as well.
Yeah, it's like the parents were great.
They were just complete unknown. It wasn't fucking Kevin Costner and Meryl Streep or something. Parents, you know what I mean? It was like two people I'd never seen before playing really like hicks for want of a better word. Like they were really kind of hamming it up as these kind of like typical, Kansas sort of Midwest Americans, which I really like that part of it.
But it's just funny the way, because I feel like because there's a scene with them early on, and they're like silly old people who don't know how to use an iPhone, and they're trying to call their parents. Like, oh, that's kind of funny, that's kind of cute. And then we won't get into spoilers or anything. But then there's this, they circle back to the parents later on in the film, and oh my god, that scene is just so great. I thought, again, like just for all the film's messiness, it just so nails those character moments. I'm really curious what Paul thinks. I think the three of us will have a spoilery chat next week. Because it's tough to talk about without getting into the particulars of it, because it's doing so much.
Yeah.
But I think the whole cast is like relatively unknown. Like, Corn Sweat was in like Pearl and a couple of other things.
Just Holt.
And Holt was the biggest star. Oh, who is fantastic, by the way. So I mean, he's one of the he's one of the great breakouts of from Fury Road onwards. Obviously, he did Skins and stuff prior to that, but obviously he exploded with Fury Road. He's great in everything. I mean, he's really fantastic. But like Brosnahan, she was in Miss Maisel on Amazon and stuff like that. The parents, I didn't recognize either of the parents, the Krypton parents or the Kansas parents. I didn't recognize any of them.
You recognize the Krypton parents?
No. Should I know who they were?
One of them was quite a famous actor, yeah.
Oh, was it?
Once you look it up, you'll realize who it is.
I'll look it up. Okay, hang on. I mean, it wasn't Russell Crowe,
No, but someone with a connection to James Gunn.
Okay, I'll look that up. But I really liked it. Got me excited for what's to come with these characters. They did it. I mean, I don't think that's a spoiler. Because they've announced they're doing the Millie Alcock movie.
Yeah, this is what is it? Gods and Monsters Phase 1. Gods and Monsters. This is the Marvel.
Yeah.
Next 5 to 10 years that we'll get. So.
But what I'm interested in as well is his big selling point, and this does interest me, is he, without saying like Marvel do, because he's not going to be that messy about it. He's talking about like Clayface, who's the Batman villain, and he's like, we're like, that's a horror movie, and he's like, it's an actual horror movie. It's not again, he wouldn't say it, but he's not doing that thing. When people say Ant-Man's actually a heist movie, he's like, no, it's not, mate. No, it's not. It's a fucking Marvel movie where the characters rob some stuff. It's not a heist movie. He's very much going out there saying these movies they're not all going to look and feel the same. They're going to do a Supergirl movie that I imagine will probably be stylistically very similar to this. But like the other going to be different. It's very hard to really get excited about a fucking superhero cinematic verse. But I'm interested to see where they go. We'll chat more about the particulars of it maybe next week. But I absolutely loved it. Joe, seemed like you liked it, certainly. Other films, I watched all the shite on stream the last couple of weeks. I won't bother talking about it. I've watched the John Cena Legendary film with like Danny Glover and Patricia Clarkson, one of his early non-action. That was fucking diabolical.
That's the amateur wrestling one, isn't it?
Yes, that's the amateur wrestling one. I watched the Marine 2 with Ted Jr. That was fucking a miserable experience. So we'll skip all of that. I did watch something. I watched Ballerina, the Ana de Armas John Wick spin-off thing. That is a movie of two halves, quite literally. This is probably one for the very obviously two films stitched together Hall of Fame. There's already a little bit of a Dread 2012 style controversy brewing about this one, where it's like they shot it, Stileski wasn't really involved, he saw the action, he was like, absolutely not. Ostensibly went out, they did a bunch of reshoots, very expensive, and depending on which version you read in which outlet, he was either basically just directing the film again from scratch, or his public facing PR finance was no, same director. I was a bit more hands on the reshoot. But two movies here, right? The action in Ballerina is a worthy entry in the John Wick franchise, anthology, whatever you want to call it. It's fast paced. It's very creative, fantastically choreographed, well shot, like clean, wide shots. You can see all the action, no shaky cam. It's got John Wick action in it. Very creative. There's a scene where De Armas, a lot of guys are coming to kill her, and she only has grenades. So instead of doing a big shootout, kung fu shootout, she's like trying to kill people with a bunch of grenades without blowing herself up. Tons of creative stuff like that, and a bunch of other stuff I won't spoil. And then the other half of the movie, specifically the first half of it, is so not John Wick because it's like an origin movie. They do her origin story. They show her as a child. They show who her father is. They show her training. And like, this is not what these movies are. They don't fucking give you 30 minutes on who Lance Reddick's character is and Ian McShane's character is. The fun is in the not knowing. People show up and they go, "Oh, I'm from the upper deck." And Rule 42 of the Upper Deck Handbook says you must die. And you go, what a world this is. What does the Upper Deck mean? What's any of this? Yeah. This feels like it was on course to be a really shite addition to this franchise that was going to derail it. Because again, I look at that story stuff and it's not offensively bad. It's just not good. It's not like fun John Wick stuff. It's not. It's very plodding, bang average thriller plot. Pays off relatively well. You've got Gabriel Byrne as your antagonist. It's okay, you know. And again, if you believe certain reporting, I mean, if the action was also not great on the first set of principal photography, I mean, this would have been a dud. So what final product that you'll watch is some ho-hum story, and then the action is class, and it is what you want out of these movies. The Armis is very good in it, you know. For the most part, you can tell she is in there. She's doing the Reeves thing. She's doing her own stunts. It all looks great. So I would say overall, this is worth watching if you like these films, but it does feel like we're flying very close to the sun. I don't think I want someone other than the core team making these movies. I think you don't want it to be. You don't want it to be Marvel. You don't want it to be Star Wars, where it's like, oh, did you see the new John Wick thing? I didn't see the last John Wick thing. I didn't see the last movie. I didn't watch the last streaming series. You don't want it to become that. This is a very rare, special franchise that's relatively new. It's only 10 years old. So I would quit where I was ahead on these if I was them. But if you like the action from these movies, it is worth a gawk. I would say that. Final performance of Lance Reddick, obviously, in this franchise. All the main crew are there. Reddick, Ian McShane, Reeves is in it extensively. They're basically the whole crew is in there, so it feels very connected. That's what I've seen this week. Paul, you also went to the cinema. What did you see?
I sure did. I saw Jurassic World Rebirth, which you thought I had watched last time we spoke, and I'd only watched Dominion. But the tone in your voice made me think that you didn't have high hopes for this one. You're partially right to think that. I think it's not as bad as it maybe has been infamous for. So Jurassic World, Rebirth, is the fourth in the Jurassic World franchise, the seventh Jurassic Park movie overall. So already if you're rolling your eyes and losing interest at that, I don't blame you. But it's, the Jurassic World cast of Chris Pratt, Dallas Howard, whoever else the fuck is in those terrible movies, are gone. There's no more Chris Pratt holding his hand out and talking to dinosaurs. Rest in peace, King, up there in heaven. So this is a brand new trilogy. They've put the kibosh on the last one, which ended with the absolutely awful Dominion. And as I talked about after having watched it, never really paid off the promise of dinosaurs taking over the world in a way like the Planet of the Apes movies very well handled, going from James Franco has one little chimp who's his buddy to 2 movies later they rule the world and we're prisoners. The Jurassic World or Jurassic Park movies broadly, I guess, ever since like Lost World and the T-Rex in San Francisco at the end of that movie, always seemed like that's where they eventually wanted to get to, right? Dinosaurs out in the world, dinosaurs take over the world. And that was kind of, I don't know if you guys saw the Fallen Kingdom or Dominion, but the end of Fallen Kingdom was dinosaurs are released out into the wild, and that's basically where the Jurassic World name from the series comes from, right? They're no longer held within this park. They are loose in the world, and we have to learn to coexist with them. So I talked about Dominion 2 weeks ago, a Jurassic Park movie that featured very little dino action at all. In fact, I think I talked about this. All the scenes that I enjoyed that featured dinosaurs are only in the extended version and are not in the theatrical version. So the theatrical version must have, in its like 2-hour 30 runtime, like 10 minutes of dinosaur action. In your Jurassic Park movie, it's a movie instead about creeping around generic looking lab sets, and it's about locusts and clones. It has almost nothing to do with dinosaurs at all. And the fact that dinosaurs exist in our world, with the exception of one car chase scene that involves velociraptors, is almost totally incidental and means nothing. So we never got that dinosaurs have taken over the world movie. It never happened.
Mm-hmm.
And even the movie Jurassic Park Dominion, where the setup was done in Fallen Kingdom to have that movie be Dominion, they then took a 90-degree turn and did this other movie that 85% of it was indoors in this lab. That's what I want. T-Rexes fighting in Times Square, and I want the pterodactyl has made its nest in the Empire State Building, and and you can do some, especially with Gareth Edwards directing this, you could do some Godzilla-esque set pieces with that. That would be some cool, look satisfying.
I forgot he directed this actually. Yeah,
so he directed this, and he of Godzilla and Monsters fame, as well as the creator and Rogue One. So he does big scale action quite well. That is his thing. So interestingly, they have with this one kind of retconned to an extent the previous trilogy. What was the other movie recently? 28 Years Later. Have we all seen 28 Years Later by now?
I still haven't.
Okay. Well, I have never seen 28 Weeks Later. But I know what kind of that movie is, where, and of course, anyone who's seen it, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe the end of 28 Weeks Later is the virus getting to the mainland, continental Europe.
Zombies in Paris.
Zombies in Paris. And then at the start of 28 Years Later...
in Paris.
Oh no, I need to eat your brain, please. Then at the start of 28 Years Later, there's literally the opening screen. They go, don't worry about that. They fixed all that, and they're back only on England again. Anyway, let's start the movie now. So they open the movie with retconning the sequel that nobody liked. Jurassic World. I forget what the name of the movie is. The new one, whatever the subtitle is. I don't remember what the name. Rebirth. Jurassic World Rebirth opens with. All the dinosaurs all died except the ones that live around the equator. So they're not taking over the world anymore. We fixed all that. They only live in these Jurassic. So don't worry about it. They escaped. It's fine. They were ill-equipped to deal with our atmosphere viruses, even though in the years between Fallen Kingdom and Dominion, there didn't appear to be any issue with that. Actually, there was. And actually, they only live on these Ila Nubar clone islands around the equator now. So don't worry about it. They're not taking over the world. We're never going to do that movie, even though that's what we've literally been building to for the better part of a decade. We won't do that. Instead, we're just going to go back to do Jurassic Park again, basically, except not in a theme park, so more like the Lost World. So long and short of it, Jurassic Park Rebirth, starring Mahershala Ali, Scarlett Johansson, Rupert Friends, got quite a good cast. And written by David Cope, who wrote the first two Jurassic Park films critically. Definitely feels closer in what it's trying to achieve to those older movies than any of the recent trilogy. As I said, Dominion and to an extent Fallen Kingdom as well had got so far away from what Jurassic Park was initially. They're just crazy movies that are closer actually to Fast and Furious movies than Jurassic Park movies. I talked about Dominion. I was talking about Dominion to somebody in the week and was what I liked about Rebirth is that it had action scenes with dinosaurs, whereas Dominion had a car chase. I don't want a car chase in my Jurassic Park movie unless it's being chased by a dinosaur, okay? A big T-Rex. I don't want to have car chases and stuff like that. So Jurassic World Rebirth does kind of take it back to basics with that. It has fucking big dinosaurs eating people and jumping out behind bushes and biting people's heads off and all that dinosaur stuff that I just, I am happy to get down on my hands and knees at the trough and yumma, eat up that slop because I love dinosaurs and I love dinosaurs fucking stuff up, okay? It does, of course, have a plot that makes no sense, performances that vary from good to really stiff and wooden and not good at all. The really ropey CGI for what I have to imagine is a huge budget.
Yeah.
So it's not a great movie by any means. It's definitely in the 2.5 to 3 star range at best. But I couldn't like bring myself to hate it, even though it is like it feels like a soft reboot of something like Lost World in the way that Force Awakens was a soft reboot of the first Star Wars. Maybe more so than Jurassic World did, because even though Jurassic World was literally doing it's a park again with dinosaurs again, I feel like this one gets the action right, more close than Jurassic World did. So I think the action here is actually quite good. I mean, the setup is we need to go to this island and we need to take the blood of the 3 biggest dinosaurs in one of each category. Land dinosaurs, sea dinosaurs, and flying dinosaurs.
So it's a video game.
Yeah. Any reason why we have to do that real specifically? What sense does it make that we need to take one really big sea dinosaur? Don't worry about it. That's just the plot. So the plot makes no sense at all. It's a lot of nonsense. But the adventure they go on, when they go to the Jurassic Park island and there are dinosaurs and like that stuff is all fine. So it's okay. It's fine with fine in italics. That kind of fine. It's fine. It's fine. I don't think it's anywhere near as bad as the 2 previous ones. I thought they were horrible. I thought they were rubbish. This one is fine. It's okay. Which is, I mean, that's to me all the more baffling why it's getting absolutely pillared in the reviews. Because I think it's like significantly better than the other 2, than Fallen Kingdom and Dominion. Dominion in particular is just dog shit. Is horrible. It's fine. This dinosaurs, like I said, there's a big mutated T-Rex, and we're going to bite a guy's head off, and you go, oh my God. Like, it is what you're signing up for a Jurassic Park movie. The last 2 times you've been given a heist movie with car chases and no dinosaurs, basically. This one give you the fucking dinosaurs and eating people. Like, that's what you want. It's not a great version of that. It's nowhere close to, the original. It's not a patch on the original at all. But it's perfectly watchable. Like, it's so I think I went like a 3-star on it. That might be a generous 3-star. But it's like it kind of ticks a lot of the boxes, even if the tick is kind of scrawled in a kind of ugly chicken scratch. It's the boxes tick, it's okay. That's the only movie.
So I guess that's an endorsement.
Sure. I mean, if we were breaking it down to binary, is it good or is it bad? It's just about.
Okay.
Fair enough. I should not be watching it like I did not watch the other ones. So it's...
well, you're absolutely right to not watch the other ones, for sure.
Yeah. I watched one movie. King of Thieves, which is based on a kind of infamous robbery that happened in London in 2015. It was the Hatton Garden robbery that became famous because it turned out to be a bunch of old blokes that did it, sort of semi-retired villains in the 60s and 70s, kind of coming back for one last score, robbing basically a vault in London's like diamond jewelry district. There's been about 5 or 6 adaptations of this thing. People couldn't wait to like turn it into a kind of British comedy caper, bunch of old blokes nicking something. Most of them are absolute shit, so I avoided them. They looked awful. But this one was on BBC over the weekend, and it had has Michael Caine in it. So I thought, well, let me watch. Give me 5 minutes, and Michael Caine. This was only what was this, like 7 years ago? So he would have been well into his 80s. He's still bloody brilliant in this. He's Michael Caine. He's giving you everything. So essentially, he kind of puts the job together with the help of Daredevil himself, Charlie Cox. He's in it, along with Jim Broadbent, Tom Courtney, Ray Winston, Paul Whitehouse as well. So it's a very, very strong cast.
Yeah.
And it's very kind of interesting. I think it kind of follows a pretty, what you'd expect from the plot. It's a bunch of but a lot of jokes about them getting old and having to take lots of pills and things and falling asleep during the robbery and that kind of thing. So, it's fine. What I kind of like about it is they weave in a lot of like archive footage from the kind of 60s and 70s of what I'd call like the golden age of the armed robbery. When you could go into a post office with a sawn-off shotgun and say, "Give us all the fucking money, you slag." you know, and all the coppers were bent, so you could get away with it. You know, it was better. It was good. Better times, really. So they kind of weave in a lot of that kind of footage from that era of like 60s and 70s, like car chases and coppers and stuff, which is good. And then towards the end, it gets very kind of metatextual because it's like Michael Caine talking about this being like the end, the last job, you know, we might not never do this again kind of thing. And you know, you get the kind of subtext of him as an actor. And then they even kind of weave in footage of each of the actors in their younger days in movies. So you get footage of Michael Caine in The Italian Job and Ray Winston in Scum and, you know, all the others in their kind of early movies, which was really nice sort of touch. And yes, I quite enjoyed it. I wouldn't like suggest anyone go out their way to watch it, but it was quite a nicely done little film. Speaking of nicely done little films, I was also saw a couple of trailers before Superman. So saw a trailer for The Smashing Machine, the new Dwayne Johnson movie.
Yes.
Oh, it looks fucking dreadful, lads. He looks like he's in Tropic Thunder. That's the only way I can describe the prosthetics that he's got on and the acting. I mean, if this was the best they could cut together, then I dread to think what the rest is like, but that was bad. And then a little movie called The Odyssey. Got a little teaser for that as well. Oh, very exciting. That looks good. That looks really good.
Did you get your tickets?
Not yet. No, we did go on IMAX, but it sold out. So probably have to see it either the next day or at a different cinema.
Yeah.
That's what people were talking about it. Oh, this is like the new, you know, concert scalpers, you know, people selling movie tickets. Just go and see it in another cinema. It's loads.
Yeah. I'll just wait a week. I'll see it. I'll see it when there's not people with their phones out and talking during it.
See it on the Tuesday at the IMAX. Loads of tickets. Loads of tickets.
Nolan doesn't want you seeing it on day one with people with their phones out. I will say I had a perfectly pleasant experience with Superman at the cinema, to be fair.
Oh, I need to talk about my Jurassic Park experience. Now this is third hand. This was not my experience. This is my brother told me about it afterwards. Well, there's a famous story in my family that when Jurassic Park was on the TV when I was young, I was afraid of the T-Rex and I hid behind the couch because it was so scary. When he's coming for the car, you know, he's biting through the car. And all that. Too scary for what age would I have been? Like my 4, probably like 5 or 6. So we were watching the movie, and like I said, there, you know, it's 12s, so it's not horrifically violent, but there's some bits where like a dinosaur biting a lad in half and all that, you know. So I didn't notice this at the time, but to my brother's right, there was a little, God, he must have been like 8 or 9, little ginger kid. And he was apparently crying during it. And there's one quote that just, oh my God, hasn't left my brain since. But there's one, I won't say which character because I don't want to spoil it. You guys are never going to see the movie anyway. But for anybody listening, there's one character that it's, you know, it kind of turns out to be the bad character. And it, you know, at a certain point, it becomes apparent this character's going to get eaten by a big dinosaur.
Right.
And the boy apparently turns to his mother, who's with him at the cinema, and goes, I'm going to look away just in case. which is my new favorite thing.
Is it Mickey Mouse?
Aha! It might have been, but
that was Ricochet.
That got a big chuckle out of me. I very much enjoyed it. Yeah, good movie.
Yeah, I waited a week and I went to the last showing of Superman on a Friday. Yeah. And again, just like what did I talk about? Sinners. I was in one of the pricier screens with the fancy chairs. Yeah, I think that may be freak repellent because it is a bit more expensive. So I think that might be my tact going forward if I want to see something in the cinema. Although there's not much else coming out soon. I sleep pretty well, so I don't need to see that Fantastic Four movie. Which looks really boring.
The trailer for that, by the way, sorry. Okay, we know he's going to say it's clobbering time. You don't literally need to tease it by showing the exact scene where the guy is trying to convince him to say it and then cut off right before he says it. You don't show us the moments when it happens.
It was very funny seeing that trailer before Superman, because I saw that literally the day they said, oh yeah, we cut John Malkovich out of this movie and he's still in the trailer that was playing before Superman. So that's funny. So that's a shame. Telling off. telling off. I'm in a little bit of a kind of a with both games and TV shows. I'm like, all right, there's this stuff we've got like half watched for months. So like, let's get back. Let's wrap these things up. Finished White Lotus season 3. It was all right. I think like every season of White Lotus, it starts very slow, which is fine, and it peaks quite well, and it wraps things up quite well. And I thought season 3 did do that, but I thought that up ramp was very slow this time. And even though I think everyone got kind of like moderately satisfying conclusions, even when it started moving at a decent clip, I was still a bit. I was a bit ho-hum about it. Like, I thought the Parker Posey's family, I ended up enjoying them way more than I thought I would based on the first episode. I thought, on the first episode, I was like, oh, they're laying it on a bit thick with these like rich people archetypes. But I thought where that went was quite good. But like, you know, I like Goggins and I like Amy Lou Wood. I think their performances are good, but like those characters, nothing. I was getting nothing out of them, you know. So it was all right, you know. And it's still White Lotus, so like the floor is quite high. I'm not like it was terrible, but I was pretty muted on it. I will say that when the Emmy noms came out and the big sweepers were White Lotus, Last of Us, and Severance, I was like, oh, so it was one Garbo year for television, baby. If those are the big heavy hitters.
I also like the color
disappointing seasons. yeah. Ooh, a bunch of things I liked more 2 years ago than I like now. So yeah, White Lotus season 3, all right. I got back to Penguin as well. That's another one we kind of inexplicably not dropped, but just other stuff came up. We got in the way. I think I've only got like 2 episodes left of that. That's top notch. I wish we didn't fall off that previously because that's great stuff. Again, tying into I was about to say tying into the DC thing, but I guess not. I guess they're not counting that Batman stuff. Whatever. The new Rick and Morty continues to be really good. I have not seen this week's episode. Last week's episode was really fun. No More Land. It was basically Jerry discovers a kind of weird backdoor community of Jerrys that sort of basically sneak into portals when Rick is not looking, and they've set up their own like underground marketplace and community of Jerrys who just live between the cracks, basically. And it was very funny, and it was good, and it was you know, again, I always like the Jerry episodes. It's been a really solid season after they were kind of wobbling there for a while. That remains good. Always Sunny is back. First 2 episodes of that were very entertaining. The first one was the Abbott Elementary crossover. I've never watched that show, although this crossover did make me want to watch it because it was very fun. Even not having watched it, I still enjoyed the hell out of it. Obviously, you got this complete dichotomy of kind of like sort of cheery, kind of wholesome characters versus the Always Sunny characters. Very fun, very chaotic, and then the second episode was great as well. So that show continues to be on a really solid run. On season 17, which is very impressive to still be funny that deep. So that's what I'm watching. I'm also, again, I'm nearly finished Common Side Effects. I'm nearly finished Andor. So I want to kind of get those wrapped up.
A lot of good shit. Yeah,
there has been some good TV this year, to be fair. I saw Common Side Effects. I saw did get a nod for the animated show. Andor got a suite of noms as well. So, you know, so there has been some good stuff this year. That's all I watched this week. What have you watched, Paul?
Finished out 2 seasons Poker Face, which was good. I would say not as good as season 1. They did kind of fundamentally change kind of part of the show's conceit halfway through and then kind of go back to that conceit right at the end. But it did feel like it lost some of its charm a little bit. Let's not say the episodes are still kind of standalone mysteries, but they added some continuity to it that I don't think really works in a show of this kind. But it was fine. There was a 2-part finale that I don't think was really that interesting because they didn't really lay the groundwork to set it up. To an extent they did, but not in a way that felt super satisfying to me. But it was fine. It was like, whereas season 1 was something I really, really enjoyed, season 2 was, you know, a nice little diversion. Nothing great. But then The Bear I finished and I thought went out really strongly. I thought the finale of The Bear was really great. So I think there's 2 episodes in this season that I thought were really excellent. So the episode 4, I think it was, the Ayo Adibri kind of standalone episode early on, and then the finale I thought was Very, very good. So I think season 4 of The Bear, I don't want to say full back to form, back to as good as it ever
Didn't
was.
restore the feeling, quite restore the feeling, but
the feeling has been partially restored for me.
I mean, yeah, I enjoyed the season overall. A couple of duffers, but generally it was back to like telling stories and giving some urgency as well. It wasn't perfect, but it was pretty good. And
yeah, I think there's still some carryover of the bad habits that it's kind of formed in season 3. But yeah, definitely more.
Like not being funny is a big one. It's supposed to be a comedy.
Yes.
Never any jokes in it. Never any funny situations anymore. Just straight up drama.
And I do think the ticking clock thing was like really lazy as a plot device. But I thought the finale was great. Like I thought the finale was as good as they've done. Great performances. I think from everybody involved. Really, really enjoyed. So I will give The Bear season 4 a thumbs up. How about that? Didn't see that coming.
Wow, okay. Very good, very good.
And I've nearly finished Taskmaster season 15. I think for me it's one of the weaker seasons. Maybe the weakest. The Frankie Boyle, Ivo Graham, Mae Martin season. I don't get the feeling like I do from other seasons that they ever truly kind of melded as a group. You know what I mean? With maybe one or two exceptions, I don't feel like the 5 of them were going to the pub afterwards and hanging out. You know, whereas other seasons, you can tell the 5 people involved really get on and really have fun together on the show. This feels like more like a segmented cast that kind of, I don't know. I never truly got that feeling from them. Still some very good episodes, still some very good tasks. But if I was to make my list of like best to worst seasons, I think 15 would be towards the bottom. Down there with 13. I think they're probably my two weakest for me so far. That's all I've been watching.
How is your expedition going with Clair Obscur?
Expedition has been going good. I'm on a little bit of a break from it. I did finish Act 1, so I did get past Act 1. I did get past the moment. Yes. And I kind of started Act 1, and then Tony Hawk's 3 and 4 came out, and I said, I'm still loving this game. I'm not like moving away from it, but I'm going to go play Tony Hawk's for a little while. And then I'm going to come back and attack Act 2. So that's kind of where I am with it. Really, really loving it. I think we, like last time we talked about it, looks great, sounds great, plays great. Great, interesting story, great, unique take on kind of the fantasy, genre. Like it doesn't look or sound or feel like anything else I've played previously. The character stuff is good. It's kind of got elements of like Studio Ghibli and Elden Ring to kind of the style of it. Yeah. So yeah, thoroughly enjoying it, but it is quite rich cake of a game. It is quite a dense, rich cake of a game. So I beat Act 1. I said I'm about 10, 11 hours in. I said, right, we're going to play Tony Hawk, which is a light cracker of a game. Right. With not even a slither of cheese on it. Just the McDonald's chip of a game. So I have been playing Tony Hawk since. But my expedition is going well, and I'm very excited for it to continue. You've beaten the game, I believe.
Yes, I rolled credits on that bad boy this past week. Again, similarly, I was kind of like, all right, I've been playing this game for months. Let's. I'm very bad for playing 6 games at the same time. And I was like, all right, let's finish this big one, and then we'll jump into some little ones. It's spectacular. I mean, I absolutely love it's my game of the year so far. I mean, I will say that it basically never let up. So what you're talking about now, I felt that same way right up until I finished it. Tons of like I thought the setting was quite interesting, and I was like, this world is cool, and I wasn't expecting to love the story as I did. Like you mentioned, Act 1, very dramatic kind of twist. I mean, plenty more to come is all I'll say. I mean, they don't rest on their laurels at all. It goes some places I was not expecting. Great performances from that cast. You got all these wonderful characters and kind of it's great. It's really spectacular. I absolutely loved it. Act 3 the world kind of opens up quite a lot and you can access a lot of areas you couldn't. People have described it as it can either be like a 20-hour game or like a 60-hour game. I was closer to like 25-ish. When the world opens up in Act 3, it basically seems like all the optional stuff is insanely hard. It's like, here's stuff you can do if you want the real fucking Dark Souls ass stuff to kick off. I dabbled with a little bit of that and I was like, you know what, I'm kind of just ready to see the actual game.
Yeah.
Which was challenging enough. I mean, all the boss fights are just the right balance and challenging as well. But yeah, I absolutely loved it. Well, I'm sure we'll check in closer to time. So yeah, that's done. I checked it off my list. The other thing I got back to it, played about an hour this week, and similarly I'm like, okay, I started this months ago, let's get it done. I went back to Doom, the new Doom, and I'm going to try and see that through to the end, but I'm still kind of halfway through that. Like yourself, I did try some Tony Hawk 3 and 4. I'm nearly done the campaign on 3.
Yeah,
and it's really good. I'm enjoying it. And I think my biggest kind of surprising take on the whole thing is I like all the new music for the most part.
So do I.
I don't really 4 is not bad. I just don't really care for 4. And the soundtrack in particular, I don't really care for. And my thing is like, they got the must-haves off of 3. They got CKY, they got Motorhead. I've got all right with that. I think the new stuff they got is genuinely great. It's very Tony Hawky. You've got some ska, you've got some heavy rock, a little bit of hip hop.
You got 100 Gex on there.
100 Gex, it modernizes
Hollywood baby. Yeah.
And I'm kind of between the great music selection and just the general. It feels great, just like the last one. Feels like a really good Tony Hawk game, just with those new levels.
Yeah.
And I kind of feel like a lot of people want Underground next. I gotta see he's coming. Excuse me. I couldn't mute quick enough.
No.
Disgusting. But I would love an Underground remaster. But I was also kind of like, I think I'd like these guys just to make a new game now. I think I don't know if that's on the table. I think I'm ready for these guys to make a new game. But I don't have too much to say about it because it's the quality of the 1+2, but with 2 separate games worth of levels. What are you making of it?
Yeah, well, I mean, this is their first one, right? Because Vicarious Visions did 1 and 2, and this is
Iron Galaxy. Yeah,
but I think it's as good as 1 and 2, basically. So when he is make a game, when he is, I feel the same. I think Tony Hawk's Underground, I think was probably might have been my favorite at the time, but I don't think it's going to hold up well at all. I do like the more condensed arcadey kind of format of this one. I'm almost finished 4, so I've done every objective and every collectible across all of 3 and most of 4. So I'm just on the London level now.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm very much enjoying it. Nothing on it too tricky. One thing I don't like about it is that you have your 10 objectives. And then what will happen is once you beat both games, you then unlock the pro challenges. Which is like 3 to 5 more challenges. And I'm like, I'm not going to go back and play levels I already beat 10 hours ago to do some extra challenges. I'm like, give them to me now when I'm playing the level and kind of getting the muscle memory down, getting the layout of the level down. Don't make me come back later when I've forgotten it. Oh yeah, where's that thing again? I'm not bothered. I'm just not going to do it. So I'm just going to beat these base objectives. You have your money, your decks, your Iron Galaxy logo, and your stat points per level. I'm collecting all of those. And I'm collecting the panda per level as well, the hidden panda, which lets you unlock the Jack Black policeman character at the end of the game. Most of those aren't too tricky to find either. So I think I've only got 2 or 3 levels left, and then I'm done with it and back to the Expedition 33. I will say I did really like the soundtrack for 4 specifically. 4 was kind of the GameCube game that I had spent the most time with over 3. And I did really like the soundtrack, but like you, I think the new soundtrack is fine. Like I'm not playing and thinking, I wish Flogging Molly would come on and damn this game for not having it. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, if I want to listen to that, I'll listen to it when I'm out on a jog or whatever. Who cares? And and if the music was terrible, then that would be another conversation. But the music is fine.
Yeah.
So I don't really have a problem with that. Yeah, good fun time with that. And also, my time has come to an end with Mario Kart World. I've played all the new. oh, you will only play the open world bit for 10 minutes and then you say it's a shit. That is how I feel about it. So I've played all the Grand Prix, I've played all the knockout tours, and I've dabbled in the free roam. I didn't get on with the free roam at all. Okay. It just, like, I think there's a good opportunity there. There's a good foundation there, but it's really, like, half implemented. So, like, you have a GTA style mini map, and it looks incredible. Like, the detail on the map itself is really great, but it's got no, like, north, south, west, east indicators on it, so you don't know what direction you're driving, and there's no, like, mini icons on it or on the map. So you're just driving around, hoping to stumble across something, and then you find a little challenge, and you do it, and so what? Okay, I got a sticker. Great. There's no checklist, like, here's your 100 challenges that are in the world. Here's where they are on the map. Go find them. You have, like, a really simple, oversimplified map, a mini map that has no directions on it, no compass directions on it, so you don't know where you're going.
Yeah.
I feel as well that and while I know you can, like, do sharp turns and you can jump onto walls and all that stuff, I never felt like the kart controls lended themselves to, like, platforming or, like, specific
fine navigation in an open world.
Right.
Like,
yeah, that never really worked for me. Oh, okay, I probably played for like 25, 30 minutes and that was it. Maybe it's something that if you own a Switch 2, as I don't, and you really just want something to play and kind of maybe you kind of come around on it. But I don't have a Switch 2. I only had this for a short amount of time, and I said, all right, let me give the free roam a go. 30 minutes later, I said, right, I don't feel like I'm missing anything by not playing this. So I just tapped out on it. I do feel overall, from the Grand Prix and the Knockout Tour, I think Knockout Tour is great, good fun, but I think overall it's a step down from 8. It feels similar to Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, where they tried to go open world, and in trying to do this whole other way of doing it, they've sacrificed a lot of the core things that make those games good in the first place. So it does feel like a watered down Mario Kart, as opposed to the next step forward in even crazier courses and even crazier items. It just feels like kind of the courses are kind of forgettable, and if I was itching for Mario Kart now, I would probably go and play 8 rather than the new one.
8, yeah.
And then last thing from me to report is my book from the library, Moonflower Murders.
Yes.
I've been reading it for it's like 2 months, because it's like 2 books. It's a book within a book, a full book within a book. It's 2 different murder mysteries. It was a fun time. It's I don't know if I'm exactly the target audience for it. I also found out after the fact that they made like a BBC daytime drama adaptation of it. Which I just for
the name sounds like something would be on BBC,
right? Maybe something I need to check out sometime. But it's fine. I don't know what I'm going to take necessarily next. I do have some books here I want to read, and my 1996 Power Slam compendium with the NWO is going to be coming this month as well. So I'm going to be reading about the formation of the NWO. They thought Lex Luger was going to be in it. My God. So looking forward to that.
Sorry, I was giggling at art.
Let's have a look. There he is. Tom well.
Very good. I would say when you were talking about the Mario Kart, I was like, it'll definitely be a post-wedding expense. But Donkey Kong, I was like, all right, you've done it. I wasn't sold on Mario Kart alone, but there is now a Switch 2 game that I'm like, all right, I would like to.
I've seen people say better than Odyssey.
I've heard better than Odyssey. I've heard one of the best 3D platformers ever. I mean, when they first started showing it, I was like, that looks incredible. So that's, yeah, I wasn't, also, plus you've got like, the review situation was very weird around launch, but now we've kind of like I've got like a few like people I follow on YouTube who are doing their kind of like, okay, I've had it for 2 months and like, yeah, it's good. Like, I want it to be it's kind of scratching the itch. If you wanted, I also never finished Tears of the Kingdom, so I really like the idea of transferring that over, getting the owl upgrade so it runs all nice and buttery smooth. So I think they've just now crossed the threshold where I'm like, okay, it's now worth it to me. So yeah, I'm very intrigued, and I'll try that Mario Kart World as well in a few weeks. But yeah. That's going to do it for the show, ladies and gents. We'll be back next week with another Fantasy League update, another slate of wrestling reviews, more games, more movies, maybe a Superman spoiler cast as well. We'll see. And lots more. ChairShotPodcast.com if you want to pop us a correspondence. It's also where you can check the Fantasy League in real time as well as we go. So with all that said, thank you very much for listening. It's goodbye from me. It's goodbye from Joe.
Goodbye.
It's goodbye from Paul.
Goodbye.